Perfect.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. It is Rick Kamla with AM Fepper, anchor, businessman, holding it down in our LA studios, author as well. We will get Dr. X, Phil McDonald. He's on his way to the airport right now. And we're going to get him sort of in transit. Just communicated with Dennis Scott. He said he's got a lot of moving parts today. Dwight Walton will not be joining us today. He's still got something going on. Brandon Armstrong is going to be joining us a little bit later here, AM. So, and also AM, we have a very special guest today in about a half hour, Reggie Theus, former NBA All-Star. He's now the AD and the head men's basketball coach at Bethune-Cookman, and he's my boy, and I'm psyched to have him on. AM, what's up? Let's go.
What's happening, Bethune-Cookman? Daytona Beach. Let's do it, man. Bringing back a lot of memories. I'm excited. I can't wait to meet him.
Very, very cool guy, and just classy. I shouldn't say but, and he brings it. His basketball opinions are fantastic. He's still on Sirius XM NBA radio, and that's where we were able to forge a friendship, doing lots of shows together, and I love that man. So that's the lay of the land here, guys and girls. Buckle up. We got another very, very fun episode and a podcast adventure for you guys. AM, it was a 50-burger adventure last night for Tyrese Maxey. Third game this year with 40 or more points. He's second in the league in scoring, behind only Luka, who's at 34.6. Maxey's at 33.4. Usually that would easily lead the league. Not this year. So Maxey was already leading the league, AM, in minutes per game at 40.3. Okay. And last night, career high 54 points. Game goes to overtime. He plays 46 and a half minutes. They, obviously at overtime, Philly kind of cooked them. 123-114 was the final. Maxey and Will Chamberlain are the only Sixers to have at least 50 points and 9 assists in a game. There's a Wilt stat for Maxey now, which is pretty cool. AM, he played 39 minutes the night before in a loss to Toronto. Okay, so I'm going to get into my top 5 point guards here, but just wax poetic here about the masterpiece painted by Maxey last night.
So gorgeous, man. He's a supernova. I mentioned it a couple of shows ago, right? Like, that's the only word I could think of to describe this guy. Kai, Jason, put up his picture again, will you, if you don't mind? Because when you look at a guy like that, when you see a point guard of his ilk, right, it is the length and the strength. Look at the body. He's the kind of guy who could go out 40 minutes a night, back to back, over and over again. You talk about load management. You talk about the concerns about putting too many minutes on these guys. There's a couple guys in the league you're worried about. When I look at Maxey, I'm never worried. Put him out there all 48, any game, 82 in a row. He feels like he's that consistent, that strong, and he can get it done. 54. Come on, man. I mean, like you said, 3 times this year, over 40 points. He is on another level. He's stepped up to a different level that all of us should be in absolute awe of. I know I am. I'm enjoying it.
You know, he's powering this thing. Joel Embiid never plays. Paul George just came back. I think he's been back for 2 games. Philly's 9-6. They're relevant because of Maxey. It's not because of Embiid. Embiid's on a minutes restriction even when he plays, and he'll give you like 20 points. I mean, Embiid looks like a 45-year-old guy out there as I view this. Maxey is turbocharging a team kind of sort of by himself. And Quentin Grimes has been very good. Edgecombe's been very, very good. They've, some stuff. But without Maxey clicking at 33 a game, they're a sub-500 team. Last night went 18 of 30 overall. So 54 points on 30 shots. Chew on that. 6 of 15 from downtown. Exactly. 12 of 14 from the free throw line. He rusted a little bit in the second quarter and then never left the game again. To your point with the conditioning, AM. As I look at this, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I've said this for a couple of years. He's the best conditioned player in the league, never misses games, high usage rate, high minutes, plays both ends. Maxey's right up there, dude. And obviously I love Luka, but I would not put Luka, even with his becoming svelte LA persona, I can't add him to this list. These guys' conditioning is just absolutely off the charts. So, AM, let me give you my top 5 point guards because the 54 that I watched last night inspired me. I'm like, I know Max is an MVP candidate. He's in there somewhere. But where does he stack up amongst point guards? Okay, so here's my list, AM. Number 1 for me is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Some may be thinking he's not a point guard. Yeah, he is. In the box score, they go Dort and J-Dub and all these other guys, the two bigs. He's their point guard. And I know he came out as a shooting guard, but he's a point guard right now, and he's number 1 for me for all the obvious reasons. Luka Doncic is second for all the obvious reasons. Steph Curry is third. Still Steph Curry, AM. He just had 95 points in 2 games back-to-back against the San Antonio Spurs. And obviously, we know his legacy. You and I both have him in our top 10 all time. Jalen Brunson is 4. So to me, it's very chalky, the top 3. That's very chalky to me. No decision at all. It's just da-da-da. And then at 4 and 5, this is where there's 3 guys, AM. It's Maxey, it's Cade Cunningham, and it's Jalen Brunson for these last 2 spots. Brundog gets my 4th spot. I want to be in the foxhole with him. I know these other guys are splashier, more athletic, more dynamic, more pizzazz, right? I don't care so much about that stuff. I want 4th quarter buckets, I want dubs, and I want Jalen Brunson. So it comes down to Cade Cunningham and Tyrese Maxey, AM. Extremely tough decision. Can I say it's a tie? Of course I can't. I don't rock that way. I give the slight nod to Cade Cunningham, AM. 27, 5, and 10 is the point, rebound, assist number for it. 27, 5, and 10. And this is a coin flip, and I love both of these guys, but Maxey is 6th for me. He is just outside my top 5. AM, take a bite out of that.
I'm like annoyed right now because we're 7 minutes into the show and I was looking forward with just you and me and we're going to argue a little bit and I can't. I actually agree with literally everything you said about the list, including the pseudo tie at 5 and then giving the nod to Cunningham over Maxey, at least at this moment as of today. I agree. That's right. That's the top 5. It really is. SGA, who by the way is still my MVP, and I know Jokic in the last 8 days is just putting up numbers beyond, and we could talk about that if you'd like, but SGA still fits my slot as the MVP right now, and I agree. Luke, it's impossible to argue Luke is number 2, followed by Curry. Curry still deserves to be number 3 on the list. That's who's there. I mean, look what he's doing. He's putting the entire Golden State Warriors on his back this year. Jalen Brunson is just the entire Knicks at this point. You know, what is, if he plays, you feel like they're going to win, even if it's on the road. If he's not playing, you're just, if you're a Knicks fan, if you're any other fan of the NBA, you're concerned they're not going to. And right below him, I mean, look, you can't argue Cunningham has his team in first place, comfortably in first place in the East. But let's go a little bit further here for a second and just kind of delve into how amazing is it we can even have this conversation as of today. Let's go back 15 years, right? This is beyond the surface. Let's go back to 2010. I mean, who were the top point guards back then? You guys had guys who were just like burgeoning in the league, right? Like Steph was there, but he was not nearly who he is today. I mean, Tony Parker was there and kind of at that point firmly entrenched, and Chris Paul was a bit younger and someone entrenched and ascending even further, hadn't yet reached the apex of his career. But like, man, I mean, you think about like who were the top 10 or 15 in the league. We had some lack of point guards going on. There were guys on that list. Like I'm just thinking like Ray Felton or like Devin Harris or Darren Williams, which, you know, good guys and strong, but like you'd put them in like the top of the list. Today, that wouldn't even be a question, right? I mean, we just had a tough time demanding like who the top 5 are, but like we didn't mention, like you're not even talking about Darren Fox or John Morant or Halliburton, who's out this year, right? Or like James Harden, who's still around and still doing it. It's amazing how many good point guards are in 2025 now, you know, a part of the fabric of the NBA. It's incredible. But yeah, wrapping this up, man, I wish I could argue with you a little bit. You are spot on. I agree 100% with your list.
I appreciate that, AM. And we also have, you know, and you know, that list was obviously stream of consciousness. Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, you know, the list goes on and on. And then you've got some exciting younger guys. So this is the position in the NBA. You know, when you and I were falling in love with this sport, it was the center, right? In the 80s and the 90s, you had to have that center. And then once we got to this millennium, it became a little bit more blended and a little bit more, I don't know, open. But in the 80s and 90s, you had to have a big. You had to. Otherwise, it just wasn't going to work out for your squad, with the exception of the Bulls, with Jordan and Pippen, but they always had a Kukoc, a Rodman. They had Longley and Weddington in this collection, Cartwright and like Oakley and all these like solid bigs, right? They made it work. But because of the greatness of Jordan and Pippen. So talk to me about Jokic, dude. Like what's I mean, obviously just night in, and I saw the other night 28, 10 and 10 through three quarters. Like this guy he's a ridiculous joke. He literally is his nickname. What more do you want to say about that?
I mean, look, I love bringing him up because it just gives me an opportunity to say, I took him number one when I had the number one pick in fantasy basketball. I love saying it over and over again. Again, I got a lot of side eye. Where was Wembenyama? He fills up blocks. He fills up this. Hey, he's out 2 weeks, and we all knew it was coming, and it's a little early in the season for it, but not Jokic. Hurts his wrist, but he's out there every night. You might see that little GTD by his name, but he's going to play. And anywhere in the city, you better pay the extra money if he's coming anywhere to the other 29 teams because he's going to show up and he's going to play. No, it's ridiculous. But again, you could just pencil him in for what he's doing. But I want to give Denver, I want to give the GM, I want to give the entire building a little credit for building out the bench and bringing the right guys around him this year. And that's why they're number 2 in the West. I mean, Jokic can't do it all himself. Again, this is still why I have SGA as the top. He's just such a ridiculous two-way player. That team has lost only one game. So in my mind, he has not done anything to lose the MVP just yet. But Jokic, I mean, are you watching Jokic? If you're not watching, like if you're picking anything, if you're watching this and you're thinking about watching an NBA game, watch a Denver Nuggets game. They're exciting. They're amazing. And he is worth tuning into because he's just bringing it every night and he's going to show up every night, which is 90% of the battle.
He's dazzling, fun to watch. The statistics, he has the best stats since Will Chamberlain. Nikola Jokic has the best stats since Will Chamberlain. Nikola Jokic has better stats than LeBron James. He has better stats than Russell Westbrook. Those are the other two guys on my Mount Rushmore of stat guys. It's Wilt, LeBron, Russ, and Jokic. And Jokic is number 2 on that list. I mean, there's so much history that he has made, and I don't have it in my head right now, Am. And I know you follow StatMuse and all these great follows on Twitter and stuff. And it's another Nikola Jokic is the first player since Wilt to do blank, 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 blank. There's dozens of those statistics for Nikola Jokic. That he will be the all-time triple-double king one day. He will pass Russell Westbrook one day. It's really hard to see him not averaging a triple-double for the next several seasons. So Russ went 4 out of 5. I definitely think Jokic can duplicate that or even exceed that. So, AM, let's keep it moving here. We are beyond the surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. We've got Reggie Theus joining us in about 15 minutes. Dr. X is on his way to the airport. He's going to be falling in here. Dennis Scott may make a cameo. We will have, I believe, Brandon Armstrong a little bit later on. Are the LaMelo Ball sweepstakes on? AM Pfeffer? Kelly Iko of Yahoo Sports reports, amidst a rough 4-11 start, LaMelo Ball has grown increasingly frustrated with the organization and is open to a trade, league sources tell Yahoo. The same sources say the front office is increasingly hesitant about cementing Ball as a long-term foundational piece. He's become, and they've become disillusioned with the 24-year-old and open to moving him. That's Yahoo. Jake Fisher, who's another terrific scoop artist, on a Bleacher Report live stream Thursday afternoon, said he believes with absolute certainty that the Hornets are not currently willing to take calls on LaMelo Ball, not before they get a longer look at Ball playing alongside the always injured Brandon Miller. I love him, but my goodness. And the Hornets' promising rookie duo of Con Knippel and Ryan Kalkbrenner. So, AM, you first. Are you sniffing a sweepstakes here with LaMelo Ball? Is he going to be traded in advance of this deadline? Talk to me.
I don't think he's going to be traded, and I don't even know why he's bringing this up or necessarily wants to be traded other than, I don't know, he needs the attention. He just seems like a guy who needs attention. And maybe you agree with me, maybe you don't. I'm curious, where this goes. Like, what is this? What are you doing, man? Khan just got there. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kalkbrenner just got there. Build something, do something. Bring Brandon Miller along. He's struggling a little bit of this season. You're now the veteran. Bring him along. Miles Bridges is decent. Colin Sexton isn't bad. He's a guy, right? I mean, there's opportunity here to actually have a foundation now in Charlotte. and build on something. Like now you're talking about running away. You're on the hook, Matty, for over $200 million through 2029. First of all, good luck to you and Charlotte moving that contract if that's what you're trying to do. And second of all, why? Again, build something. This is it. You've been looking for this for a couple of years. You didn't have any of these real pieces the last 2 or 3 years that you were there. Show up. Right now, you're shooting sub 40% from field goal, and that's not your career average. You're shooting, I think, sub 30% from three-point line. Your assists are up. You're close to 10 assists per game, LaMelo. Keep it up. Share the rock. Make your teammates better, and especially bring Brandon Miller along. I'm a little disappointed in seeing some of his stats, especially sub 20% from three-point. And he's, I think, 70% from the foul line, and he needs to be better at that because he's a guy you can get to the bucket and get to the foul line, and those are important points at the end of games. But like, I don't want to hear it, man. He is not the guy I want to be hearing from right now that he needs to be traded. Not necessary. And I don't think the sweepstakes are on, and I'd like to see this quelled for a little bit. We got plenty of other guys in the league we should be talking about who need to move, not LaMelo Ball.
Ooh, I like those takes, AM. Throwing it down, baby. Yeah, LaMelo, just to give you the actual stats here, 38.5% from the field. What? 29.8% from three. He's a 36 career three-point shooter and a 42, which isn't great, career field goal shooter, but he's a lot below that right now. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. I'll be here all week. So, all right. All right, AM, let's get into this, man. I am not sure about Charlotte's level of motivation or interest in trading LaMelo Ball. Okay, I'm not. And Jake Fisher is a stud. One of the best, one of the most plugged in guys. And he says with absolute certainty, okay, that's not a could or expected to. So that's a pretty strong report right there. But where there's smoke, there's fire. Maybe they do want to, it's an I don't know for me right now because we have dueling reports, okay? And Kelly Iko's a stud too. I like them both. So I don't know if he gets traded this year. He eventually probably will be traded. Seems like everybody eventually gets traded. I don't think this year. But here's my problem with this, AM, and it goes along with some of the stuff you were saying. What I am sure about here is that this is a clear-cut case of abusing player empowerment by LaMelo Ball. If this report is true, that LaMelo Ball wants out of Charlotte, that LaMelo Ball has grown increasingly frustrated with the organization and is open to a trade. Okay, this is player empowerment on steroids and like not in a good way. Okay, I want to make this clear. There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have a problem with player empowerment and this kind of stuff. I do not. I love player empowerment. You know, the fact that players of yesteryear, you know, they had to play 3 games in a row. They had to fly coach. They just all this stuff, right? And so now it's all about the player, taking care of the player. And the player is in the boardroom now with the owner and with the president, with the GM and with the coach, and they're making decisions together. You're checking with Kevin Durant about the next coach you're going to hire, all that kind of stuff. It's awesome. Okay. It should be a collaborative partnership like that. It's the respect that these guys have earned and that they deserve. Okay. Over decades and decades and decades of guys not getting that respect. And now they are. Okay. So I'm totally here for that movement. What I'm not here for is the abuse of player empowerment. And we've seen examples of this. Okay. James Harden has abused player empowerment. Kevin Durant has abused player empowerment. There are other examples, and I love those guys, and I get over it, but it is what it is. This is player empowerment gone amok by LaMelo Ball. The team has way more right and cause to be frustrated with you, LaMelo, than you have right and cause to be frustrated with them. LaMelo Ball, you rarely show up for the game, bro. The arena's full. Charlotte wants to watch you. AM, check out these numbers, bro. Last 3 seasons, and LaMelo's already missed a bunch of games this year. I'm not even computing that. Last 3 years, AM, and our great audience, he's played 47 games, 22 games, 36 games. That's an average of 35 games a year. That's 47 DNPs a year. And you're frustrated with them? That's all I got to say. This is player empowerment. This is an abuse of player empowerment, AM, if it's true.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I want to, I absolutely want to agree with you, and I want to piggyback on the point you're making about how good player empowerment is. You cannot argue with how good the league is now, and how scoring is up, and what it looks like to watch a game night in and night out, and how many good players there are across the league, and the way that they have situated themselves and forced themselves into the conversation, all with you, and all for player empowerment. I love what's happened in the past decade alone, certainly. But yes, there are times when it's very clear that there's abuse of player empowerment, or even still, like, regardless of abuse or whatnot, dude, it's November 20th. We're not even at Christmas. We're not even near the trade deadline. What are you asking for? What's this trade about? You've played 9 games. You've shown up, LaMelo, 9 games this year, and you have some players on your team who are young, exciting. There's a core. I just don't even understand what this story is, or why it's even here. I don't get it. It's strange to me that we're even having this conversation.
Yeah, I agree. I saw it. I was like, huh, are you serious? LaMelo Ball reportedly is frustrated and wants to trade. So when I first saw it, AM, I was like, is this NBA Centel? Is this NBA Centel? Is this a parody right now? Is this satire? But no, it's on Hoops Hype. Big time reporters reporting on it. Apparently, there's something to this. And just lastly here, you think about it, the pieces are in place for this team. You have LaMelo Ball. You have your supposed franchise point. I mean, talent-wise, the guy's franchise, right? Your 2 is Con Knipple, front runner for Rookie of the Year right now. Your 3 is Brandon Miller, who's a stud when healthy. The comps to Paul George in terms of body type and how he plays are legit. You have Miles Bridges, a really, really rugged, solid, clutch player, 27-4 every year. And you have Ryan Kalkbrenner, okay? Like, are they ready to win now? No, they're not ready to win right now. But you have your starting 5. You have your pieces in place. And so just let it grow. Just let it grow, like OKC did, like Minnesota did, like Houston has, right? That's all you have to do. There's no pressure or expectation to win at all, okay, locally or nationally. Just stay the course, Charlotte. Anyway, but it sounds like the team wants to do that, but LaMelo may have some other ideas. All right, AM, a little bit around the corner here. We're going to get Reggie Theus, NBA All-Star, should be a Hall of Famer, in my opinion. And currently the AD and head men's basketball coach at Bethune-Cookman, and we will have a great time talking with him. All right, let's move on to LeBron James' return to the Los Angeles Lakers, AM. And the question here is, are the Lakers the biggest threat to OKC in the West? Bron had 11 points, 12 dimes first game in his unprecedented 23rd season. Luka went off for 37. I thought it was very cool that Austin Reeves had a good game as well with 26. Like, it just fit. LeBron was the passer. These other guys were cooking and scoring and all that kind of stuff. So, AM, you first. Are the Lakers, with a healthy LeBron, the biggest threat to OKC in the West?
No, I still say it's Denver, because especially with what they've done to fill out that second rotation that came in, and to all the credit to them that they have really brought down their points per game against, right? The defense is actually there this year, and we've talked about it before. I mean, if you're going to go toe-to-toe with Oklahoma City, you better bring defense to defense, fire to fire. Denver has it. San Antonio has it if Wemby can stay healthy, oddly enough. I mean, all of a sudden, they have skyrocketed, and there's opportunity. I think they're a bigger threat if he's healthy, and they've got all 9 or 10 of those guys in rotation in all the healthy bodies on the floor because of the defense. I'd even say the Rockets a little bit. I mean, if they, especially with Amen Thompson and what they could do, the Lakers, and it's weird because some nights defensively they're there, and some nights it's like you're going back to what they were last year when they were bottom 5 in the league defensively. So, I mean, they're Jekyll and Hyde with that. So to me, over a 7-game series, there's still not. I mean, even Minnesota, by the way, and I think that there's moves to be made. Your beloved Minnesota Timberwolves, I think even defensively, they're slightly better than the Lakers. So I'm going to defer to any team still has an opportunity to go defense to defense more than the Lakers. Yeah, they could put up 130. They put up 144 with LeBron back on the court. And that was just obviously a very small sample size because it's one game. Let's see how it really goes. But I love the fact that LeBron had 11 dimes coming back, adding to what Luka was doing, adding to what Reeves was doing. I mean, it was an exciting night. It was amazing. And you saw when they first came out, they were losing that game like in the first quarter. And it was like, uh-oh, what's about to happen here? And then they just shot out of a cannon those last 3 quarters, certainly. So that was cool. But no, I don't think they're the biggest risk to OKC. And in fact, I'd still put 2, 3, maybe even 4 teams ahead of them for the reasons I just laid out.
Interesting. I'll give you my answer in a minute here, AM. I want to make this point, and listening to you talk took me back to watching that game. You know what I love the most about that game was the love fest. I've seen LeBron on the bench this year, and I again, it's just little glimpses, right? But some of the optics haven't been great. He's had kind of a sour look on his face, looked bored. Maybe just because he wants to be playing and he's not playing. I don't know. But like, and you've got all the reporting about he's not coming back and trade him and like all of this sort of unzippering with the franchise and stuff. So all of that sort of been predominant in my mind. And then I watched the game on Tuesday, and the love fest was there. LeBron was joking around and smiling and laughing and reveling in the success of others. And it was like the stuff that you need to see for a championship team or championship level team. Teams that don't like each other can win it all, but it's extremely rare, right? It's usually the love fest where, and everybody doesn't have to love everybody like my boy Jackie Moon in the greatest basketball movie of all time, Semi-Pro. Very unpopular opinion, by the way. People hate that. People absolutely hate that. What do you mean? Favorite basketball? It's not the best basketball movie of all time. Have you heard of the fish that ate Pittsburgh?
I was about to say, have you heard of the fish that ate Pittsburgh?
Oh, it's so funny. It is
literally where my mind went.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so yeah, everybody doesn't have to love everybody, but I just love the optics. I love the ball was moving, right? And I know it's Utah, okay? Like, do this against Houston, do this against Detroit, right? Who has the best defense in basketball. You know what I'm saying? But it was just all very, very encouraging. It was a feel good. And so here's what I got, AM. The Lakers are not the biggest threat to Oklahoma City in the West. They are a threat. And I think they're a pretty high threat. Denver, to me, is the biggest threat to Oklahoma City. 7-game series last year. Best player in the world is not on OKC. He's on the other team. I love OKC. I agree with AM. He's the front runner for MVP right now. Not by much, but he is. But he's not the best player in the world. Nikola Jokic is. So, and we've talked many, many times, right? Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown and Jonas Valanciunas and Peyton Watson, who's starting now, but when Cam Johnson and Christian Brown are healthy, he's off the bench doing good things. So they're deep now. Last year they weren't. I thought Calvin Booth made a bunch of mistakes with this team. He also made some good picks, but they blew him out. I think they mistakenly blew out Michael Malone. I would not have done that. I think Michael Malone could be winning. Hey, it's Dennis Scott. Dennis Scott, the splasher, the three-point pioneer, the GOAT of range, part of the ACC network. DC, first of all, we'll bring you into this topic, man. How have the games been going, man? How's the play-by-play been going?
Man, it's been going great. I got lucky and obviously got 2 North Carolina games. The kid, Caleb Wilson, is the truth. Watching, me, Rick, watching more college basketball now just give me a different perspective on what these kids are watching, what are they working on, who are they listening to. So it's just fun to watch. And then coming into this conversation with the NBA, once again, your perspectives are right on, and each team now, I'm just gonna jump right into it. A guy like Cade Cunningham, like some people are giving him respect. I don't think some people are giving him enough respect. And I know why, because he hasn't done enough yet, but in a short sample size and what he's been through and what he's doing and how, and Rick, you know this, and AM, you and I have never really had this conversation a lot, but Rick knows this. I'd rather take a guy's less numbers if everybody around him is playing better and they're winning, then I'd rather have low numbers. For these guys that have inflated numbers, but you're not winning ball games. At the end of the day, it's about winning. We know a lot of guys who have empty calories but don't have no rings, or haven't been to the playoffs, or haven't been to the conference. Rick, think about it. There's a lot of Hall of Famers that's never even been to the conference finals, but they got great numbers. So I love to jump into that conversation, the MVP, because it's a lot of fun. But 2, just watching all this college basketball, it's crazy to see what kids are working on and how kids can't make a wide open jump shot.
The 2026 draft is going to be nice, DZ. Darren Peterson. I'm blanking on the other dudes, but I know you Bansa out west. Who's the other dude I'm forgetting right
Caleb
now?
Wilson. You got Koa Pete's names jumping up in Arizona. He's been
Yes.
playing well. Last night, I'm watching the Houston game up close. The kid Fleming Jr., who should have been a McDonald's All-American, who wasn't. And I'm like, how'd they get that one wrong? So once again, it's just different kids have stepped up so far early in the season, and they're all chasing the top four, obviously, like you already mentioned, Peterson, Boozer, guys of that nature.
Yeah, Boozer.
Boozer,
That's
it's just fun to see. Now, Rick, what's so fun? All these guys are 6'9", 6'10". They're handling the ball. They're like oversized threes, if you will.
I love it. The real LeBron James says Dennis about to cook. He already cooking. He's always cooking, man. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Just quickly here, Denver is, I believe, DZ, we're talking about LeBron coming back and kind of state of the Lakers here. Are they the biggest threat to OKC in the West? I say Denver. AM says Denver. He has LA down the list a little bit. I do have LA third on my list, ahead of Houston, ahead of Minnesota and those other teams. So I do look at the Lakers as a pretty major threat. I got them at 3. Are the Lakers, to you, OKC's biggest threat?
No, I think everybody's on the right path with this one. And I understand what Laker fans are talking about. LeBron's back. They're playing well. I get it. But the Joker is the magnet on why Denver will be the biggest threat, because there's nothing you can do. DeAndre Ayton will not get any. Ayton will not get any sleep in that series. He will know what to do with himself, and so that's why I would go with Denver. And now once again, the pieces around him are better, and the pieces around him make sense. So I think I have to go with you and AM on this one. I'm going with Denver over the Lakers.
Hey, AM, let's rewind. Let's rewind and remix. Sorry, it's a bad scratching imitation. But DZ, it was terrible actually. DZ, we just, I'll take the hit. DZ, we just talked about. I don't know if you saw that. There's a report that LaMelo Ball has grown increasingly frustrated with the team, and he's open to a trade. I'm not going to say anything. I just want your reaction to that.
My initial reaction. It's amazing when you get paid so fast. That's the first thing that's the first thing that came to my mind is like, wow. It's amazing how when you get paid so fast. Young fella, I think you're exciting. I love watching you play. But what have you done to warrant to go speak like that to upper management? What have you done? I'm being very brutally honest. Like, I think we all would agree on this show that we love his game. We love the excitement. We love all the razzle dazzle, the alley-oops, the between the legs, step back threes. I get all of that. But it's time to win now. It's time to prove with the ball in your hand that you're a better leader. And once again, make everybody around you better like other great players in our league do.
I like it, DZ. Right on par with what we were saying about that. I think it's an abuse of player empowerment, if it's true, right? It's just a report. We don't have him saying it. We don't have a direct quote. This is Kelly Iko, who's a great reporter, putting this out. So if it's true, to me, it's an abuse of player empowerment. DZ, he has averaged 47 DNPs over the last 3 years. 47. The guy misses 50 games a year. And he's on pace to miss like half the season again this year. So that's my problem with it. Like, show up and play, rack up some all-stars. Your team sucks. They're not doing enough to build around you. Then I'll listen. Okay, you want to trade? Cool, I dig it. I hate the draft picks they've made. They've screwed up their free agent signings. This is GML practice. Yes, ask out. Okay, I'm with you then. But we were talking about this. Charlotte has Ball, Knipple, Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges, and Kalkbrenner. They got their 5, DZ. They just need to let it grow and ruminate, right? And so I don't know if LaMelo Ball wants to dip out of that, but But we're going to bring in Dr. Phil here very, very soon. He's traveling today. He's heading from New York City out to L.A. He's got some travel going on here. And here he is, Mr. Smooth, Dr. X, looking good, man.
Hollywood Doc.
You're on mute. Doc, you're on mute.
Doc, we got you.
That's what happened in Hollywood in the car when we were in car.
Yo, those shades are everything, dude. Those shades. Hey, Doc, we got you.
It's up to Jason.
Yeah, there he is.
Let's
Jason,
go.
you there?
Dude.
I appreciate you guys, man. I was saying I'm not too cool for the safe belt.
I love it.
But,
those shades,
yeah.
those shades are everything, Doc. I'll tell you that right
Thank
now.
you,
Those
brother.
shades are everything, dude.
Appreciate you. Yeah, man. Nah, I'm loving the show. You and AM are killing it. 3D came in and spiced it up too. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You guys are killing it, man.
So appreciate that, Doc. You want to come in here on any of these opinions, man? The LaMelo Ball thing. We talked a little bit about Maxey and top 5 point guards. Any thoughts on that before we move on?
I love your top 5. When are we going to take Curry out of there?
I don't know.
That's
It's
the
easy
question.
to catch you up. My top 5 point guards right now: SGA, Luka, Curry, Brunson, and Cade by a whisker over Tyrese Maxey.
Hold on.
Dennis is going to write this down.
Right now, not all
Yeah, here we
time.
go.
Right now.
Yeah, not all time. Right now, SGA,
Like,
and then
currently
Luke.
healthy in this season.
Luka,
and then Curry number 3,
Curry, all right.
and then Brunson,
Brunson, okay. 4.
and then Cade by a whisker over Maxey. It's a virtual tie.
You know what? I might have to be like AM on this one and just really go deep and just throw everybody off. I think I'm gonna put Joker as a point guard.
Oh, I
Why
like
not?
it.
The zag. Just the zag. Right
The
there.
AM zag. I love it.
Bring it. Love it. Love it.
I think he's a point center. Why not?
It is.
I'm sure if LeBron was killing it and he was like 10 years younger, people would have put him on the list too, right? So why can't we put Joker? Because he's too tall?
Half
because-
the point guards don't have outlet passes like he does. You're right.
Because
yes.
fundamentally he doesn't bring the ball down the court. That's why from a player standpoint they can never cross all the way over, because fundamentally that's why Luka's on the list. Because fundamentally he brings the ball down the court 90% of the time, unless you're in a half court set. So that's why it's hard to put the center in the point guard spot. I say it again, fundamentally, they don't bring the ball down the court.
What about when Joker gets a rebound and brings it down?
Then if we do
that happens
that,
a lot.
Hold on. If we do that, we put Devin Booker, we put everybody in the list. Like right now, Kevin Durant's playing point guard for the Houston Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching the
Okay.
game, who's bringing the ball down the court the most?
Well, yeah, I think KD should be a part of the discussion too. Let's make that top 5 based off of that. Let's do it.
Because if you're going to do that, then go back and watch each guy that we're talking about. They fundamentally handle the ball 90% of the time, unless someone gets a rebound and pushes it.
Yeah, let's base it off of usage.
I like it, Doc.
I'm down for
Doc,
that.
I like it.
Who's
I
the
like
point guard of the
Jokic in
team?
there, man.
I love it.
You said what? You said what, 3D?
Hey, I like throwing some spice in there, but same thing with Phoenix. Who brings the ball up the court 90% of the time? Devin Booker.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Gillespie.
So if we're going to do that,
I'll tell you who we can all agree we should not be on the list. Cooper Flagg. He's not making the list.
Yeah,
that experiment.
Leave Cooper alone.
That experiment got thrown in the toilet.
Hey,
Good call, though. Good pullback.
Kid, we love you to death, but you got this one wrong, J Kid.
He did. Hey, he quickly realized it. He did quickly realize it. So DZ, top five. What adjustments would you make? Top five point guards.
I would just go ahead and make Maxey 5. Just go ahead and make Maxey 5 for me.
And okay, so over Cade, but otherwise you dig the list.
Otherwise, I like this.
We
There he
have
is.
Reggie Theus joining us right now. Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Reggie, what is up? It's your boy Cam, Dennis Scott. Lower left, it's Dr. Phil McDonald, the creator of this show. Upper left, it's AM Pfeffer. Reggie, it's great to see your face. What's up, Coach?
Man, Cam, it's been a long time. I'm glad to see you. You got the shooter next to you too, so you're good.
Oh yeah,
Just don't ask for a pass.
Nice.
I love it. Reggie, your story is incredible. The acting, the basketball career, all of the coaching jobs and the executive jobs, the media jobs you've had, man. Right now, to catch everybody up, Reggie Theus is the athletic director and men's head basketball coach at Bethune-Cookman. Only person in Division I hoops to have both titles. The only one.
Yeah.
Two-time All-Star, jersey retired at UNLV. It's an honor to have you here, Reggie. And obviously we go back tons of shows on Sirius XM. And it's great to see you. And my first question to you, Reggie, is how is the culture building and the program building going at Bethune-Cookman right now?
Well, in this day and age of portal and NIL, the one bad thing about that is that you can't build culture with your team. You're always trying to build that culture and put your imprint and put your thumb on your team to so they can perform at a certain level. And that's tough on the basketball or football side. But in terms of what we're trying to build in the culture of the athletic department, it's really about building a championship culture. And you have to have that mentality of what it takes to be in a championship culture. One of the things that happened when I first got here is I talked about that. I looked around and I go, you can't really have a championship culture if you don't have any real facilities. In today's world, these kids, they're on their phones. And, if you don't have what they can dial up on, you're kind of out the door. So it was an honor and a privilege for me to be able to build the team, their first on-campus synthetic football field. That was the first one. They didn't have that. Built them we renovated an old weight room, turned it into a locker room and a shower. They didn't even have that. Now I'm in another building, renovating that building to get them a laundry room and an equipment room. These are all just normal things that's supposed to be in Division I athletics. But when you think about what it means, football is king in Florida. All right, so you have to know that. So if our football team is thriving, then everybody's going to be okay.
Reggie, for me, this is awesome to be on this show with you because a lot of these guys don't know our history. The very first residence I stayed in Orlando was the house that Reggie Theus owned when the Orlando Magic drafted me back in 1990. So that's our connection forever, ever in life. Reggie
That's right.
So now my next question is coming from my wife, who's an alumni of Bethune-Cookman. So her question for you, right? So she played back in the day, played little hoops herself. So her question is, how tough for you as being the leader that you are, and you hit it right on the head. Florida is the hotbed for football and basketball. How tough is it to recruit knowing NIL? We know most HBCUs don't have a lot of money.
Yeah. Well, as you know, number one, in this age, you have to use the negative to a positive, right? So guys that are good players, that be a fringe player on other teams, they're trying to make money. So you can't make money if you don't get numbers. You can't make money if you don't win. So come to Bethune-Cookman. You can be here for a year. Get your numbers right, win big, and then go make some money. Because that's what that's all about, is trying to build your brand in that way. Otherwise, you know how it is. Guys want to be coached the right way. We have a lot of friends. We have a lot of people who want to be coached by guys like us. And when you deal with it that way, you're able to get good players. Now, our team is slated, or picked to win the SWAC this year. We started off when I first got here 5 years ago. We were picked last. So you know how that is. To see it grow, to understand that you're building it the right way, you know, people see that. And the people that you get to know along the way, the relationships you have, people come play because they know me and they know my team and they know the way we're going to play. So it's difficult because of the money. It's difficult because you don't have a lot of money. But, you know, you find ways. Just for an example, you know, our Florida Classic football game is tomorrow. And that is the biggest HBCU football game in the country. You know, and we own our own football game. So we put a excellence tax on the football tickets. Put a $5 tax on the tickets. You get 60,000 people or 40,000 people. Each team got $100,000. So, and that will go to NIL for our football team. So you got to find ways to make it work, and that's what we're trying to do there.
Hey, Coach Theus,
I'll tell you
this is
something
Dr.
else.
Phil here.
You know, we just had First Take on our campus.
Yeah.
We knew that. We were buzzing about that.
Yeah, man, it was phenomenal. And you know, having Stephen A and his crew, I mean, that's the kind of publicity you cannot buy. You know, and you have to understand that our gym is small. Our gym is, you know, it's kind of raggedy at times. And we put like a couple of $100,000 in that gym just for First Take, so that it at least looks like it would present well. And it looked great. It looks phenomenal, actually. It's lipstick on
Yeah,
a
it looked
pig,
great.
but it still looked great.
No, it looked great. Hey, Coach, I just wanted to say thank you, man, because I'm actually from a HBCU, Oak City in Huntsville, Alabama, and
Okay.
we're not known for the athletics. They've done pretty well in the division that they're in, but we're actually known for like getting blacks accepted into medical school. They're always like top
Yeah.
3, usually top 1. I'm not sure if you heard of Oakwood University, but just really
Yes.
thankful
Yes,
that
of
what
course.
you're doing down there, you know, shedding some light on the HBCUs. And I'm also curious, I know based off your network, you were probably able to funnel a lot of money into that school. What are some ideas outside of like the ticket prices and things like that to raise money for HBCU going forward?
Well, you know, my first large gift came from Charles Barkley. You know, because of Charles
Nice.
Barkley, I was able to build that on-campus synthetic football field. And you know, I think about this all the time. So, you know, listen, guys, and I say this to all my guys I know. If you know some athletes, you know some guys, they have to spend their money anyway, because if they don't, taxes take it. But why not give it
Hmm.
to an HBCU so a lot of African American kids can benefit from that, from your donations? You know, it's all write off. It's the same write off if you bought something else for charity. This is still charity, because we have to show these kids somehow or another what success looks like. But it takes money, it takes finances, and nothing's going to get done if you don't have that. Right now, I'm in the other building I mentioned earlier. It's called the Limeron Academic Multiplex. It has a laundry room. Guy who really helped out a lot, but I have to now build out the building. I need another $2.5 million to build out the building so that they can have these things. And it's very difficult to get people to, you know, to donate. And so we have a lot of athletes out there that have a lot of money, and they are spending their money donating to other places. But why not take on a couple of HBCUs and really do something, not just for one generation of kids, but for several generations of kids?
I love it. I love it. Hey, Rick, make sure you connect me to Reggie, Coach Theus after this. But I want to be in contact, want to be able to contribute to some more HBCUs outside of my alma mater at Oakwood University. So we'll definitely be in contact.
I appreciate
So,
that. Thank you.
So, Coach,
My
this
pleasure.
is Dr. Phil McDonald, Dr. X. Like I said, he created this. He's a philanthropist, entrepreneur. He's got a
Awesome.
radiology business. He owns LA Ignite and TBT. Did I forget anything, Doc?
Nah, you're good. Everything's good.
Hey, Doc. See, you're the
Everything's good
kind
with
of guy I
Dr.
need
G.
to talk to.
Yeah, I'm
You,
here,
you,
man. I'm
yeah,
here.
yeah,
you're the kind of
yeah,
guy I need to talk
yeah,
to. You've done a
yep.
lot of stuff,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah,
I got an academic building I'm trying to do for these athletes, and they
I
really
love
need
it.
it.
Yeah, I mean,
We
especially the
spend
science department.
almost yeah, but we spend almost $30,000 a year just doing laundry for the football team, and that's
Mm,
because we don't have our own laundry room. So we have to
wow.
back up a truck, get the stuff in a U-Haul, take it to the laundromat. Come on, man, we can't roll like
Wow.
that.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
that's
bad.
horrible.
Yeah,
Wow,
That's
it's
crazy.
crazy, right?
wow,
That is
Yeah,
that.
man.
Yeah. But Reggie, you're already making huge improvements, and more will
Yes,
come here. Am, do you have a question for Reggie?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, Rick, you spotlighted and illuminated the idea of the only one, the only guy doing AD and head coaching duties all at once. Coach Theus, I mean, I want to hear, are you splitting time 50-50 in the job, or are you just really pulling double duty and working 16-hour days and just putting it in on both sides of the court? Because that's incredible what you're doing, and
yeah.
hearing everything
Well,
that's coming through.
yeah, no, I really appreciate that. It is literally 24/7. Like, just for an example, I was at a luncheon for the Classic, um, and toward the end of the luncheon, I'm I'm on my way back to Daytona. I'm in Orlando right now. On my way back to Daytona to have practice at 4 o'clock. So that's why I was a little bit rushed. Yesterday, in order to get back to First Take, because I felt that it was important to be on the show because we're trying to highlight what we're trying to do, and I'm in a position. I love the fact that I have the opportunity to give back. I really feel blessed to have the platform to really make change and do things. And people know that I know what I'm talking about when it comes to what it takes to be successful in athletics. I took after our game in Ohio, we played the University of Ohio. We beat them by 3. That night, I drove 3.5 hours to Cincinnati, took a 5:30 flight out to get to Orlando, and drive another hour to get to Daytona at 10 o'clock for the show. And that's what it takes. And if you're not willing to do those things, you can't do this job like that.
Yeah. Wow.
Indeed. Well, Reggie, we know you're busy. I've got one more question for you. And this is something that, Reggie, we have talked about on Sirius XM NBA radio, but I want to bring it to beyond the surface here as well. Do you
Yes.
feel do you feel like you should be in the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame?
Well, yeah. Well, listen. I don't. The funny thing is, it's really difficult for me to pat myself on the back or to talk about my numbers. The Hall of Fame is an individual award. Listen, you have to understand that winning championships, it takes the whole team. Nobody wins championships by themselves. Unfortunately, I didn't play on a lot of great teams. I was in Orlando, with Dennis Scott, he was there before, I was there after me. But when you think about
right.
when I retired, there was 5 guys that were 19,000 points and over 6,000 assists. There's only one of those 5 guys that have more points and assists than me, and that was Oscar Robinson. All those guys are in the Hall of Fame. I'm not. And it has a lot to do with the fact that I didn't get to play on Sundays a lot. But that is unfortunate because, when you look at, I was probably, if not the first one, I was the first combo guard or the second combo guard before there were a combo guard that played legitimately
Mm.
the point guard and then could switch to the 2 guard with no problem. So, uh,
Oh, lost his audio.
Sorry, Reggie. The connection's getting a little bit weird here. But Reggie, I love that stat. I think I think you're a Hall of Famer. And there are a handful of guys. I'm not going to mention other guys, but I love campaigning for you for the Naismith Hall, Reggie. And who knows, one day you may get that call. But we really appreciate you coming
there you
on,
go.
Reggie.
No,
We,
I thought I'd lost you guys. Uh, if you don't mind, Cam, I'll go ahead and finish this. When you think about that, when I retired in I don't know, when was it, 91, 92? I was number 22 in all time in scoring.
Mm.
I was also number 11 all time in assists. So if those aren't Hall of Fame numbers, I don't really know what the deal is.
They are, Reggie. They are. You said it. It's not right. It's not fair, but you said it. The visibility, the lack of wins, and it shouldn't be that way. But unfortunately, right now it is. But Reggie, we are so here for you, man. We are so here for your story, for the Bethune-Cookman story. Thank you so much. Again, we know how busy you are. Just to make 15 minutes for us is a huge blessing for us, Reggie. We appreciate you, man.
No, I really appreciate it. If we weren't doing this on TV, I would talk to you the whole drive. But if I don't start driving, I won't make it back for practice. So
Yeah, you got to go.
I apologize for that. Yeah, I apologize for that. But anytime you want to talk, NBA hoops, college hoops, whatever it is, hit me back. You know I'm there for you.
Love it, Reggie. Love you, man. Talk soon, okay?
All right, man.
Thank you.
Take care now.
Appreciate you,
Awesome.
Coach.
Reggie
Theus.
He is. So,
Hey,
Deezy, just super quick, Am. Take us into how good Reggie Theus was. Because, like he said, I came up in the 80s, Deezy. You know what games we got on Sunday? We got Philly, we got Boston, we got Houston, we got the Lakers, the Sonics. That was about it, bro. I didn't watch Reggie Theus in the 80s. How good was he?
Well, you go back to UNLV. Since we know a lot of guys, get into the Hall of Fame on their college merit more than their NBA merit when they kind of merge the two together. So he hit it right on the head that, he was a combo guard before combo guards were cool, mid-range, smooth. He hit it right on the head. It's just that he never got on good teams. And think about what we're talking about right now. And now as I do what I do, Rick, is like I said earlier that it's about winning, which it is. But we all four of us on this show know that a lot of the times we don't have control on the outcome of winning because the GM didn't pick the right team around us. And I think that's what, as we like to say, old heads like to say, and why new heads say, well, I'm going to move around and do what I want to do and play who I want to play for so I can win. And then some people say, well, we didn't have that freedom to do that. That's kind of what Reggie's saying and kind of what old heads are saying, that my numbers are good. I played right. I shot a high percent. I was efficient. I was available. I just was on bad teams. It's a good argument.
It most certainly is. Robert Horry should be in the Hall of Fame to me. Tom Chambers should be in the Hall of Fame for me. Joe Johnson should be in the Hall of Fame for me. And, of course, Reggie Theus. AM, what did you have?
Yeah, man. I want to illuminate for anybody watching, certainly who may or may not know Reggie, and certainly some of the younger crowd that's watching here. Like, it's important to know this. You heard you posed such a great question a couple of weeks ago, Rick. Like, who are some of the most disrespected people in the NBA? And I went back and mentioned the aforementioned Tom Chambers. I talked about Sean Kemp as well. I love that you brought up Joe Johnson. Couldn't agree more. I think Robert Horry has a little bit more time, and he ultimately will. But still kind of fresh in some people's minds over the next 5 or 10 years. Things will change, certainly. But you think about Reggie Theus and his 13-year career. I mean, 8 times he hit 82 games. His last year when he left the league, he was averaging 18.6, nearly 5 assists and 3 rebounds a game, okay? I mean, here's a guy who, had to go through a move from Kansas City Kings to Sacramento and what they had to do to upstart. He also was on, one of the greatest teams that a lot of the youth don't even know that the Nets were actually in New Jersey. He spent a year there. I mean, he's been around. He's done it. 19,000 points. I don't think people understand how hard it is to hit a milestone like that. It was incredible for me just to see the man on our screen and to meet him. People should absolutely know. If you don't know Reggie Theus, go back and look him up. But now what he's doing down there and what he came on and talked about today and what he's doing down HBCU down in Bethune-Cookman, amazing. And pulling double duty now? Are you kidding me? Doing AD and coach duties like he's saying, working 24/7. 19,000 points is nothing. Try doing that. Try working those 2 jobs. That's just as incredible.
I am so disenfranchised with my Minnesota Golden Gophers, who are never good at anything. I don't know. Maybe they win wrestling or women's gymnastics or something. Like, I don't know. I don't care. Can we be good at football and basketball, please? That's what I want. Okay. So Bethune-Cookman is my college team. That's what I'm going with. I'm a Bethune-Cookman fan. I'm going to get gear and everything, man. Support my guy, Reggie. All right, Doc, I want to get you cooking here. Let's talk Brunson. Let's go to the XSN clinic here on Beyond the Surface. The great Dr. X, Phil McDonald, styling as he makes his way to the airport for a flight to LA. Is Jalen Brunson the NBA's toughest player? This guy came back after wrenching the ankle, full turn. We got Dr. Nab videos out. We broke this thing down. He's going to miss weeks, whatever the case may be. The dude missed 2 games, okay? 28 points, hit clutch free throws at the end of the game with the grade 1 ankle sprain, Doc. And so I believe he's the toughest player in the league. But talk to me, Doc. Were you surprised? Were you like, yep, it's Brunson? So just talk to me about him coming back way sooner than a lot of us thought.
I wasn't surprised. Only the first surprise was that he was on the road trip. I thought I penciled him in as being a part of the the Black Friday game at home against the Milwaukee Bucks, which would be a in-season tournament game. Now, once I saw that he was on the road trip, then I figured, okay, that makes more sense that he's going to push through and it's not as bad as we thought. We always knew it was a grade 1, but once they started saying game to game, they would decide. Then I kind of figured that he could come back when needed. I just saw that Orlando Magic game coming up soon, and I figured they would hold him out for that, knowing those gritty guys would probably try to hurt him a little bit more so they can, be a little bit more favored in the standings. My whole thing with Brunson and what you should keep an eye on is that because of the multiple ankle injuries, the laxity of the ligaments that he currently has and some of the ligaments that actually may be fully torn, but he's able to play on it, means that whenever he twists his ankle now, he might be able to make a quicker return because of that laxity in his overall ankle before he starts, hopefully doesn't get bone after a while. But going forward, it looks like Brunson is able to push through injuries like that. And that's encouraging to see that he's willing to do that in the regular season and not just the playoffs.
To me, he's the toughest player in the league, the fighting through injuries, the availability, and you can even go to the clutch and the mental toughness and all that kind of stuff. Super quick, Doc, I don't know if you remember this. Dirk Nowitzki used to turn his ankles all the time, and he joked at one point, somebody was like, you're going to get an MRI or something? He's like, why would I get an MRI? I just keep turning it and turning it and turning it. And he basically kind of said what you said, that like there's nothing left in my ankles anyway, so I might as well go out there and play. And he didn't use the word laxity. But he probably had that laxity that you're talking about. But Dirk would turn his ankles all the time, and he'd just be a robot out there continuing to play. Dennis Scott, is Jalen Brunson the toughest player in the NBA, or do you have somebody else?
The toughest. Did you base this toughest because he came back from the injury, or because what a guy goes through night in and night out?
This is a bit of an open canvas right here. Not super defined, so you can kind of take it wherever you want to go. But for me, tough means I'm not LaMelo Ball. I'm not Brandon Ingram. I'm not D'Angelo Russell, okay? I'm not one of these 100% guys, Bradley Beal, right? Where if I'm not 100%, I'm not playing. No, if you're 75%, I'm like, what can you give us tonight? And Brunson answers that call. Ant-Man stands out as a tough player. Luka, I don't really give Luka,
Now that you elaborate a little more, I'm probably would go Giannis. Because every night Giannis gets beat up every night. The way he plays, he's downhill every night, and they pretty much on certain days had to say, no, you're not playing because we know you want to play, but we got to save you from yourself. So I would probably go with Giannis on that one.
It's a good call, really good call, DZ. AM Pfeffer, we've got 2 Brunsons, and we got a Giannis. Who's the toughest player in the league, AM Pfeffer?
So Giannis is definitely number 2, like definitely number 2. But in a league that has evolved to where it is right now, where you could sometimes barely breathe on a guy and it's a foul, right? And the scoring is way up. And this ain't the 80s. This ain't the 90s. This is not what the Bulls and the early Knicks went through and all of that. This is a very different league. I am a stickler for verbiage. I'm a linguist, okay? Tough. Demonstrating a strict and uncompromising attitude or approach. Jalen Brunson was the 33rd pick in the draft, an afterthought. Dallas let him go as an afterthought. The Knicks did not foresee him becoming a top 10 player like he is in the NBA. He willed himself to all of these things. He took half the money he could have to bring his team together, uncompromising, and wanted to build a championship team. And now you're watching a guy who left on crutches and in a boot the other night, and everybody's like, weeks, he's going to be out. We talked about it, and there he is right back in the mix and going on road trips. Jalen Brunson is undoubtedly, in this NBA, the toughest guy in the league. Undoubtedly.
You know
I
what,
love
Rick?
it, man.
I think now thinking about it, I really think it's the culture that Brunson has created. There are two other Knick players, and now that I'm gonna talk about Josh Hart, I would put Josh Hart above Jalen Brunson, or at least equal, tied at one. And I hate to do ties because we should just be able to pick one player, but I do think that the culture from last year, Karl Anthony Towns would have missed so many games if he was on the Minnesota Timberwolves with what he was dealing with last year with finger injuries, and all of a sudden his whole new soundbite is like, it's just a finger, I can play, and now he's looking like Kobe and Allen Iverson playing with, jacked up fingers. So I feel like, honestly speaking, the culture in the Knicks is just playing hard, playing through it. And that I think starts at the top, and Jalen Brunson, who's setting that example. And then Josh Hart right there too. I think Josh Hart, in all sense of the word, is also like a co-captain of the Knicks, just the way he carries himself, just the way he leaves it all out on the floor. And, he's dealing with, he had a surgical finger during the offseason, which then got re-injured or needed to go back in. And he decided to put that surgery off. And if you do any close-ups, I would put Steph in the top 5 now because of last year with the thumb. Remember Steph's thumb, Josh Hart's finger kind of looks like that too. And I think 3D was able to see the Steph finger before too, last year as well. So I just think those guys have been playing through it. I would put Josh Hart tied with Jalen Brunson, but overall, I think we should give the Knicks some credit for creating that culture of just playing through injuries.
And Brunson is the heartbeat for that culture. I agree with you 1,000%. I actually faded Karl Anthony Towns in fantasy leagues this year because no Tom Thibodeau. You got Mike Brown. Oh, you're hurt? Okay. I mean, he's just not as hardcore as Thibodeau, right? Thibodeau's like, you can barely walk. Well, can you give me 10 minutes tonight? I mean, that's Tibbs, right? And I love that mindset. But you're right. Cat with Minnesota was a different guy. He's in New York, and he's tough now, and he's fighting through injuries, and I absolutely love it. Doc, let's enter the XSN clinic. I have a question for the panel here, but specifically a question for you in the XSN clinic, Doc. What is going on with all the injuries? This is ridiculous. The NBA is trying, Shams Charania reported, the NBA is trying to find ways to reduce injuries. There's a bunch of words in here that I can't even pronounce, okay? The league is launching a league-wide biomechanics assessment program. More than 500 players have already gone through a level of testing. There are 4 rounds of biomechanics testing that still need to be completed for the rest of the season. I'm starting to lose interest here, and that's going to be used to optimize performance and try to reduce injuries moving forward. That's from Shams Charania. Doc, here's the list of notable players out with injury. Giannis, Victor, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, Joel Embiid, Zion Williamson, although he's back now, Trae Young, John Morant, Jalen Williams, Paolo Banchero, Darius Garland, Jalen Green, Brandon Miller, Cam Thomas, Tyler Hero. I got a windshield wiper thing going on here. OG Anunoby, Jaden Ivey, Christian Brown, Dylan Harper. I'm not done. Stephon Castle, Aaron Nesmith, Kelly Oubre, Bradley Beal, Jordan Poole, Keegan Murray, Walker Kessler. Oh, and that doesn't include Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, Kyrie Irving, Damian Lillard, Fred Fred VanVleet, DeJounte Murray, or Domantas Sabonis, who we can now add to the list. So, Doc, come on, man. You're an MD. What is going on?
I think it's a mixture of two things. Number one, can we get rid of back-to-backs? I mean, that's something that we've been pushing for years. Just simply getting rid of back-to-backs removes any excuse for a player not to play that's coming back from injury, that's trying to work himself into shape. The other thing is that they don't even have time to practice. A lot of these guys are just traveling from one city to the next city, and they don't even have a practice day. The last time the Warriors, I think, had a chance to practice was like a whole week that passed, and they had played like 2 or 3 games already with no practice. So, and then the ramp up of the season is a lot shorter. Like in the past, the preseason used to be a little longer. Not that I want a longer preseason, but if we get rid of back to backs, you kind of split the difference there. The ramp up won't be as bad, or at least it allows them to recover during the season. And I think the recovery time is huge because the pace that the game is played at, the kind of mileage that these players have from AAU days till now, this is the AAU generation that we're seeing right now that played all those games. And, you know, they have a lot of mileage in their body, a lot of the training they do in the off season, a lot of repetitive stuff. A lot of guys didn't really do all that. And I want to ask 3D what his summers look like and other players like that. Were they in the lab like that? Were they working on their game like that? Like the way these kids are doing with all the repetitive, you know, drills and things of that nature. So all that stuff right there, I think is a lot of wear and tear, but I think the one thing the league can do is just get rid of back-to-backs and then take it from there.
That's a lot of stuff there, Doc. I'll start with the back-to-backs. Is something that we've been fighting for years. Now, the question is, economically, the television, games, I think that's been the biggest hurdle that, you know, the league and all the, you know, advertisers try to figure out. So remember that, Doc, back in our days, we would have back-to-back, day off, back-to-back, day off, and back-to-back again. So there's plenty of times when you say, what, you played 9 games in 13 days? Yeah, we played 9 games in 13 days. But when you go look back at that, Doc, we had not as many injuries because guys seem to be in better shape because they took better care of their bodies all year round. Now, you said, now phase 2. AAU was nowhere like it is now back when I played in the 80s. You may have played 2 games a day, then you was in the pool, swimming, hanging out, being a kid. Now these kids sometimes playing 6 games a day, which is crazy.
Sheesh.
So when my son was playing, my coach got mad at me, and I said, all right, coach, pick 3 games. Oh, Dad, I need him all 6. Well, you're not getting him all 6. I said, you're only getting him for 3. That's all you're getting. So I know for a fact that is some of the issue where in the summertime, these kids are not getting enough time for their bodies to recover and heal and be normal, and then to charge up and get back in the weight room and do the things you need to be prepared to, you know, withstand the whole season. Now, lastly, I think teams have to your point, Doc, I think teams now, what Indiana showed us and what OKC showed us, teams are going to need to go 10 deep. And Rick, you and I have talked about this in the past. In our era, we only went 7, maybe 8. That was it. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, they unless it's a blowout, they never even saw the bench. Where this last finals run we saw, Indiana and OKC said, no, this new NBA, I think AM touched on it earlier too, your bench has to be deep because why? The talent's better and because of all these injuries we're seeing right now today.
AM, I'll go last here.
Absolutely.
Give us a theory here on the injury overload reaction to what Doc and Dennis just said.
All right, well, let's start with what the league put out. I mean, anytime you hear technical jargon like that, it just like this. You know, it's on one hand, you feel like the league is protecting the players and they're saying the right things and doing the right things. but that's a load of BS, and we know it. There are some things that just don't smell right, and that's one of them. When they talk about the gambling scandal and they put out the memo like they do, I mean, I got to call out the league on this, and they deservedly so. This is just not protecting the players the right way. To me, this is very simple. The answer is very simple, and it goes exactly what. First of all, it goes to both what Doc said and to what Dennis said. Back-to-backs in the way the NBA is right, and where we've come to right now, you actually have to abolish back-to-backs because of how the game has evolved. And unfortunately, and it's a shame that you do, but you just can't have back-to-backs if you're trying to have the league that you have now. What do I mean by that? Number one is exactly what Dennis said. The kids are being put through a meat grinder at way too early of an age before they even get to the league, and it's clearly a problem. And number two, it's simple. It's the pace of play. It's the pace of play. You have games now at some points where like the score at halftime, 68-59 or whatever. You're seeing 130, 140, back to 150-point nights at this point. You're moving way too fast. The guys are better off. You're talking about guys who are between 6'2" and 7'5", absolutely jacked strength. Those guys in a half-court set can bang bodies and be okay. But if you've got all these guys running up and down the court as fast as they are in the pace of play and shooting threes and covering more ground like they are, you're going to get hurt. It's actually that simple. And, that's not going to change because it's more fun for the viewers. It's probably more fun for the players to play like that. But if we keep it up, more guys are going to get hurt. But if you're going to keep doing that, you got to get rid of the back-to-backs.
You guys rock, man. We're in the XSN clinic right now with the great Dr. X, Dennis Scott, AM Pfeffer, Rick Kamla, Dr. Phil McDonald. Shout out to Jason and Kai behind the glass. By the way, yes, the XSN clinic. We gotta superimpose those shades on that billboard right there. That'd be amazing.
This is travel mode. This is travel mode.
Guys. Dennis hit on something that is so important, and I want to elaborate on this. He said back in the day, guys took better care of their bodies. Okay, Dennis, I totally agree with that, but I think it's more than that. Okay, so let's look at the different eras. In the 80s and 90s, we had guys playing 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, 82, Gary Payton, John Stockton, Karl Malone, just on and on and on, 82, 82, 82, okay, for tons of guys. That was the expectation. It wasn't a badge of honor. It was your job. Okay. So dig it. And the conditions were way worse. Okay. In terms of recovery and stim and travel and just overall treatment and all that stuff. Way, way worse. Okay. So now we're in the era of protecting, kid gloving, bubble wrapping. Okay, and just, okay, and it's no coincidence that we have the biggest rash of big-time injuries that the NBA has ever seen. It is not a coincidence. These guys are not in near enough good shape. So you look at Bradley Beal, right? Bradley Beal looks like he could lift the arena, right? Okay, the guy never plays. He's not in good enough shape. Let's go to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark looks fine, right? She looks skinny and fit and all this kind of stuff, right? She never plays. She never plays. Why? Because she's not in good enough shape. She played 13 games last year, guys. 13 with 4 different injuries. And she got hurt on the rehab when she was trying to come back. Okay, I love Caitlin Clark, but my point is more is more. Okay? Less is not more here. But that's the idea, right? With the medical teams and the NBA, we got to get them off the floor. It's the exact opposite that needs to happen. They need to get on the floor again and again and again and again and again and again and again. Practice, play, shoot around, the whole thing. You need a 3-hour nap before game time, then take a 3-hour nap before game time. But we have coddled these players into the state of injury that we have right now. Okay, we never saw this in the 80s. We never saw this in the 90s. We didn't even see it in the 2000s. It's when Greg Popovich, San Antonio, Kawhi Leonard, blah, 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 all that stuff, and it's an epidemic in the league right now. It's gotten better with the 65-game rule, which, by the way, is the Cam and AD rule. We put that on Sirius XM NBA radio about 4 years ago. And about 2 years ago, the NBA adopted it. I'm kidding, but maybe I'm not. But we literally put that out on Sirius XM radio like 4 years ago. They need a 65-game minimum. And then 2 years later, they did it. So you guys tell me, coincidence or not. But Dennis, I think guys need to play more, not less. So to me, it's a very, very simple fix. But obviously, nobody in the super high places is listening to this because it goes completely counterintuitive to Celebrini and all these heads of medical teams, right? Dennis and our panel. Steve Kerr does not determine who plays for him every night. Steve Kerr's the coach of the team. Rick Celebrini tells him who's going to play. That's wrong.
That's where, this thing is, and Doc, this, information / data is king. But sometimes I think the data confuses how we got to the results. And the results is us putting in the work, us understanding our bodies, us knowing how to push to a certain limit, and then literally listening to your body. If your body needs a day off, take a day off. If you feel you can go another rep, go another rep. And I think you touched on it earlier, Rick, and I think, and AM, you might can help me out with this one. I don't know which player, but when did it change not to compete all the time? And that's where you look back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, it was a badge of honor. Man, I'm playing 82 games because that's what they pay me to do. If I play 82 games, I might get voted to the All-Star game. I want to be an All-Star because I've earned that. If my game or my athleticism is good enough to get invited to the slam dunk contest, damn right I'm getting in it. If someone invited me to be in a three-point contest, damn right I'm getting in it. I'm not going to get in it because I'm afraid I'm going to hurt my brand. When did that change, guys? Someone throw a little curveball at you.
I have a theory. I'm a little reluctant to say it because I don't want it to sound like I'm banging on this guy. I mean, I'm a LeBron James fan. I'm a huge LeBron James fan. I have his jerseys on my team in the Cam Dynasties. Helped me win 2 chips. We're going for a 3rd this year. I love LeBron James, but I think, and I'm not blaming him for this whole thing, but in terms of the dunk contest, DZ, which John Morant doesn't want to do it. Anthony Edwards doesn't want to do it, which is insane to me. Makes a grand total of 0 sense to me. But LeBron James was that first guy. Zion Williamson doesn't want to do the dunk contest. It's an absolute joke. It's so false. I don't even know what to do with myself. I'm bursting at the seams right now, but I don't want to get blood on my jacket here. But DZ, LeBron James, right? We wanted him. Come on, LeBron, dunk. Nah, man, I ain't dunking. Nah, man, I ain't dunking. And I don't know if we ever really got the reason why. But if LeBron, and again, I don't want this to come off like I'm crushing LeBron right now. But if LeBron had just done one dunk contest, win it, lose it, finish 4th, whatever the heck happened, I believe John Morant, Anthony Edwards, Zion Williamson would have also done dunk contests. But LeBron was that first guy to kind of go, nah, I'm good. Jason Richardson did it. Kobe did it. Michael Jordan did it. Dominique did it.
Everybody.
Right? Dr. J did it, right? I mean, so I think
everybody, yeah.
If you want to extrapolate this and say LeBron James ruined the dunk contest, again, I'm not trying to be hot takey here, but the dunk contest largely stinks right now, dude. I'm not jacked about the dunk contest at all right now.
I don't know if I want to put it all. I don't know if I want
Rick.
to put it all on LeBron. What do you think about this whole movement of not being competitive in all aspects? Because this is what we get paid to do for 82 nights.
Oh, I love that you're talking about being paid to do, and you're absolutely right. Follow the money. You got to go back in history to the NBA. So look back at the 95 season, okay? Michael Jordan, I think, made a shade under $4 million that year. The next year, 30 on a 1-year deal. In 2016, the cap, I think, was jumped from like 70 million to like 90 something million dollars, the salary cap for all teams after a near $25 billion deal was signed for the TV rights for the NBA. There is a tipping point, a financial tipping point for any individual, I don't care, any of us as human beings, to literally lose touch with those who are nowhere near making the kind of money that somebody else is making or somebody has. I mean, we're talking about LaMelo earlier in the show, who was making $200 million through the 2029 season on a rookie extension. So he feels like he can potentially say, hey, trade me when we're only at November 20th or whatever it is. The competitive nature, I mean, the money is so absurd and you're so devoid of any type of reality when you hit that tipping point, when those numbers are where you're at, you can do and say anything because it's not. Let me put it this way without being too vulgar. There's FU money and then there's everybody money. And unfortunately, when it hits.
Hold on. AM.
Yeah.
But AM,
Yeah.
let me chime in. And Rick, you know where I'm going with this. I had to roll up my sleeve because AM touched on it. It's like, I don't see this in baseball, and I don't know a damn thing about baseball. I don't see it in football, and I know a lot about football because why AJ Brown with the Eagles right now is pissed off because he's not getting the football, even though they're 8-2, because he wants to be considered one of the top 5 wide receivers in the NFL, but his numbers at the bottom right now. So,
Dennis, there's only. Please go ahead. Phil, go ahead.
Let me finish real quick. So what my point is in our sport, we just got $77 billion coming to these guys for the next 11 years, and they're playing less games. So
doesn't compute.
So you said follow the money. So we were playing harder and more, getting less money. These guys are getting, to your point, they're getting paid so much money. We're like, money. Why would you want to play less? The fans want to, like Michael Jordan said, in game 82, there's some kid that come to the game, might have been his only ticket I can get, and I could take that night off. But he goes, nah, I'm not taking that night off because that kid came to see me play. The guys today don't think like that every night versus how we thought yesterday.
Yeah, and a lot of what you're saying, and that's so true, but the reality is when you're comparing to the other leagues, I mean, football, by the time you cut down, obviously 53-man roster. Baseball, by the time you cut down, is a 40-man roster, 26 active, I think 14 inactive, but you still got 40 guys on the roster. And in baseball, obviously, even though you're playing 162 a year, a lot less chance of getting hurt. NBA is only down, it's 15 guys on a roster. And there's really only usually 10 deep because the other 5 guys are just sitting on the bench. To your point, Dennis, the money it's so crazy for the top 6 guys on a team who were getting paid that way. And some of them are just so far removed at such a young age to even understand what it means to be paid that much. And they get to say what they want or feel how they want because of that. But we have ballooned to a point of just lost touch with reality with that kind of money.
Dr. X, you had a point to make. Come on back in here.
Yeah, I think I agree with your point, Rick, about what you were saying with the culture shift with LeBron James, or what 3D was saying. He brought that up, and I think ultimately it became an optional culture. It's an option for you to do the dunk contest. Oh, it's optional, and it just wasn't like built in. Like you got to do this. And I think to your point, Am, it was that FU money that came into play where it can be optional now because, all your bills are paid and your whole family is taken care of for a generation. But I would go one more step and say this whole load management really started with Popovich and the San Antonio Spurs.
Hands down, yes.
100%. Because I remember
100%.
there were certain coaches you would avoid when you were drafting players for fantasy sports, because we know
Yes.
this coach
Yes.
will sit this
Yes.
player down and,
Yes.
the system.
Yes.
And so it's like,
Yes.
Timmy D was getting a little up
Mm-hmm.
there in age, a little long in the tooth. And then it was Manu's team. And then Manu started getting a little long in the tooth. And then it was Tony Parker's team. And then Tony Parker started getting a little long in the tooth. And it was Kawhi's team. And then it was a system. And then they were tanking to get Wemby. And I don't know how they ended up with Wemby, but somehow he landed perfectly with the Frenchman that was telling him about, oh, there's this tall, skinny kid that gets mad when he someone scores on him at the 12 years old, looks like a baby giraffe. And somehow Wemby ends up on that team. It just doesn't make, but anyway, I think it was the whole Popovich effect, honestly speaking. And then other medical staffs started, feeling themselves and say, we do have some power here. And we're going to say, nah, keep this guy out. Because to your point, number one, you weren't going to, a coach wasn't going to tell a player he's not playing. The player would tell the coach, I don't care. I mean, Michael Jordan was doing that, I think, when they wanted him to throw a game earlier on, like by not playing. And he said, no, I'm going out there. And he started, I think if you guys saw Last Dance, I think it was his rookie year, he was winning games. He wanted to be out there. He wanted to play. I think when he came back from injury, he wanted to play as well. And he wasn't listening to any coaches telling him to sit out. Then eventually the coaches were being influenced by the medical staff. So I think all this goes back to Greg Popovich. And because the Spurs had success, I believe teams like the Phoenix Suns were known for having a good medical staff, and teams started being known for having good medical staff. So that became a point of pride. And honestly, they have too much
Okay.
power.
You know,
Man, I love
this
every
is.
point you made, especially that last point. They have too much power to me. Go ahead, Am.
I just want to say, I mean, look, it comes down, and one thing we're not yet touching on is the idea of a guaranteed contract. And the reality is, it's a good thing that there are guaranteed contracts, but the majority of NBA contracts are guaranteed. And the money is, again, absurd for a 15-man roster where the top 6 or 8 are making the money that they are. It's different in football, as we know. Not every contract's guaranteed. Things are shifting in that way, but it's notorious for not having that. I mean, again, the crux of our conversation here is this level of competitiveness and why we're not seeing it. It's the money. It's guaranteed contracts. And I'm not advocating to go back again the other way. I'm just saying why we've arrived at where we have.
Absolutely riveting.
Yeah.
I think we have covered a variety of directions here. Doc, anything to add to that?
Yeah, and lastly, if you're gonna get on LeBron, we gotta get on Popovich, because I'm not a LeBron advocate or a LeBron apologist, but Popovich would know that there's a TNT game and would purposely sit Tim Duncan. Like, he would play like the whack Hornets game, and it was a back-to-back or something on a Wednesday, then to a Thursday. Instead of sitting him for the Hornets game, he would play him. He would play him for the Hornets game and sit him on the TNT game. And he did that to
Yep.
stick it to the league. You know what I mean? He would do that purposely to stick it to the league. Can you hear me?
No. We got
Yep.
you. Yeah. No, you're making
Can you
perfect
hear me?
sense.
Yeah. So my phone was cutting out. But yeah, I think all in all, Popovich made it okay to stick it to the league and say, you know what, I'm not playing my star on a nationally televised game. And that's when the league started getting pissed. But they try to back it up with science to justify their cause. But I think between the All-Star, it became optional, and it also became optional to play a nationally televised games because of Popovich.
Last point here, Doc, and I love everything you said. I want to make this clear. I'm not blaming LeBron James for load management in any way, shape, and form. The guy's the GOAT of longevity. He's up there with Serena Williams, Tom Brady, and I don't dang know, maybe some golfer out there. But he's the GOAT of longevity in NBA history. He's not a load management guy. LeBron's never been about load management. How many times we want to drop LeBron's minutes this year. We want to play LeBron fewer games this year. And every year, LeBron James urinates on that plan, okay? He is not the cause of load management. All right. Greg Popovich is the cause of load management, period.
Hands down.
If you know NBA history, this is an undebatable thing. And Kawhi Leonard has been sort of the poster child for load management. But in terms of star athletes ducking out of the dunk contest, I do blame Braun for that. So there it is. All right, guys, let's move on.
I agree. And real quick. So I think the term I would say is the lack of respect for the league authority came with LeBron for the All-Star game, and it came from Popovich with load management. The lack of respect for the league. And that to me is where the respect is gone. So then now everything is collapsing. So I think we got to kind of bring back that respect for the fans, and it ultimately comes to the fans. They're not respecting the fact that the fans, pay their hard-earned money and they take their time to come out to these games, and they want to see a good All-Star game. They want to see a good game on a random Tuesday night, even if the teams are sucky. They want to see the star players. So I think it's just a lack of respect for the fans and for the management.
You guys rock, man. Tough act to follow here, but let's move on and talk about the Toronto Raptors. I hope anyway. So, guys, the Raptors, we got to enter them into the conversation. They're number 2 in the East right now. The Raptors, they're 10-5. The other night, they beat Philadelphia, right? The game before, Maxey hit the 54. Maxey and the Sixers took an L to the Raptors, who have now won 5 straight games. Ingram and Barrett both had 22. Hurdle had 19. Quickly had 18. Scotty Barnes had a goodie line, okay? So that's a really good – I don't know about really good. That's a quality starting 5. That's what I'll say. They're healthy right now. They're 10-5 second in the East. So let's go around the room here, and the question is, do the Raptors have staying power? Dennis, Scott, you first.
I don't know. I like the phrase. That's one thing you're good at. Staying power, I need to see a little bit more before I say staying power. But I love what I see. So I'm not going to, I like what you said earlier, you said LeBron would piss on that. So I'm not going to piss on what the Raptors are doing right now because guys are playing better basketball. First thing comes to mind is, Masai Ujiri built this team before they fired him, did they? Oh, that's right. Never mind.
Good point. Great
right, so I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, these guys are starting to play better and they're not giving them a chance. So I like what I see. I don't want to overreact. Because you use the phrase staying power, I want to see a little bit more.
AM Pfeffer, you're up next.
Yeah, they got staying power. Absolutely. Look at the East right now, man. You got 2 through 10 that are all above 500, and Milwaukee's literally just below them at number 11 in the playoff picture at 500. Besides Detroit, who isn't exactly running away with things, and I'm sure a team is going to catch them, wink, wink, Cleveland at some point. But yeah, they've got staying power. All of the East is such an awesome glut right now. I mean, a glut in the best possible way. I'm a glutton for it. I'm feeding off of it. I want to get fat. Watching the East beat up on each other right now. I'm loving every bit of this. And Toronto is one of those teams in the mix. And I can almost guarantee you they're going to end up one of the top 10, at least in the picture for the playoffs. They got staying power.
Oh, my goodness.
For sure.
You say top 10?
Yeah, the top 10. I mean, the opportunity to get into the playoff picture. Yes.
Well,
I mean,
there's only 15. There's only 15 teams there,
No, I understand, but I'm saying, the question is, do they have staying power? I mean, do they have staying power to be number 2 in the East? Yeah, they do. They have the staying power to be number 2 in the East because, again, there's such a glut. But the way I'm thinking of a staying power is like, are you in the playoff conversation? Are you not? Are you in the lottery? Are you out of the lottery, right? They're not a lottery team. They definitely have staying power.
Okay. DZ says no. AM says yes. Dr. X, you're up next. Do the Toronto Raptors have staying power?
I would say no, only because the frailty of their 2 wings in Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. Every year they have some sort of injury that's nagging and kind of like keeps them on the sidelines. But I would say the fact that there's 2 of them now and not just one, hopefully they don't get injured at the same time. But, hopefully if Brandon Ingram goes down, Scotty Barnes is still available. So now you have Scotty Barnes and RJ Barrett. And Quickly is a solid point guard. And I just like their depth. But I would say they're going to need Brandon Ingram to be available. And based off of that, I don't think they have staying power. So the answer is no.
I agree with Dennis and with Dr. X. I'm going to say no. They do not have staying power. If they stay healthy, the answer is yes. But I do not trust. You mentioned Scotty Barnes, Doc. It's a good call. I'm less concerned about Scotty than I am because Scotty Barnes last year, he had a jacked up thumb, and they kept telling him, you got to get out, and he kept playing. And then eventually, like a week or two left in the season, then I think they shut him down. He might have had surgery and stuff like that. But he last year on just a horrible team. Scotty Barnes want to go out there and play. I don't feel that from Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram, it's like, woo, I'm on vacation. I'm hurt. Like, I just don't understand. Like, I'd be pissed if I was hurt. I feel like Brandon Ingram feels like it's vacation time. But that's my concern here. Brandon Ingram is what is making Toronto different right now. Quickly's doing Quickly things. Barrett's doing Barrett things. Pirtle's doing Pirtle things. Barnes is doing Barnes things, but it never worked out. Now you have Brandon Ingram going 21, 5, and 4, 50% from the field. He's been absolutely fantastic, okay? Minus the bottle throwing deal, which was weird and cost him 25 dur. But Brandon Ingram, to me, is one of the least reliable players in the entire NBA. Guys, I have some statistics for you that are going to blow your minds. Actually, they're not, because you've been tuned in for the Brandon Ingram experience. As a rookie with the LA Lakers, he played 79 games. It has been all the way down ever since. He has not had another good attendance year since his rookie year. Okay, so over the last 8 years, we're at 18. That was last year, by the way. 64, that's the best we got here. Okay, 45, 55, 61, 62, 52, 59. Okay, that's 52 games a year. That means he misses 30 games a year, which means he misses 2 months out of the 6-month NBA regular season. He's not half man, half a season. He's 2/3, 1/3. Okay, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Rick, you are the king of DNP, man. I love it. I love it. You are the acronym.
It is the most important stat in basketball is games played. If you ain't playing, what does that matter?
Best ability is availability. Best ability is availability.
I think the Raptors this year, they're built a little bit better to withstand the games that he missed. I'm going to say that. I think the Raptors.
Well, I just want to throw an overall curveball because I like this topic, but I was just looking down at my notes and I know we're running out of time. Is that are we giving the Cleveland Cavaliers and the LA Clippers passes on how bad they are?
I was never high on the Clippers. I'm laughing at them right now. They're the Clippers, man. They're like AM's Jets. The Clips are always going to clip, man.
I'm unbelievable. Now, what about the Cavs? What about the Cavs?
Well, they've been so hit with injuries, DZ.
I know, but
are we saying that they're that bad? Like
that game the other night, how they just got smacked around like they weren't there. Getting smacked around like that just reminded me on how they got smacked around in the playoffs. Nothing's changed. The schedule is the schedule. You know why? Because you got to play 82 games. You got to play the damn games.
Wait a second, Dennis. What do you want them to be?
Oh, look at the schedule. You got to play the damn games anyway. But the way you got your ass smacked the other night reminded me of how you got smacked in the playoff. I'm like, nothing's changed.
Yep.
So I'm tired of letting people off the hook with that.
I agree. I think the player you got to look at it is Evan Mobley. His stats have been kind of mid. From time to time. I haven't checked all his stats, but it seems like his stats should be jumping off the page, especially with the injury to Darius Garland. He needs to step up to be more of an improved player, more of a consistent player. He should be averaging 20 and 10. I'm not sure what his stats are, but it's definitely not no 20 and 10. And especially with a big like Allen next to him, it should amplify his game, which is why he got Defensive Player of the Year. But offensively, he just seems to be sleepwalking out there.
If you had to get one of those, I want to come to you with this one. If you had to bet on which big would it be Allen or Mobley? Because one of them has to go to make this team get better, in my opinion.
Oh, Allen. I mean, if you have to have one of them go, you move off of Jared Allen. Absolutely. Evan Mobley is still a top 5 Defensive Player of the Year candidate and a rim protector, and you absolutely need that on the team. And by the way, I mean, he's averaging, I think, 18.8, 8.6, and close to 4 assists a game. So, you know, again, I hear what you're saying, Doc, and there are some nights, and look, this is why everybody says, like, hey, he's a little soft, or the Cleveland's a little bit soft. The team's 10-6, first of all, right now. They're 4th in the East, right? So it's like, are we disappointed because they're not running away with the East like Detroit is, the same way they were last year? I'm not yet disappointed. I don't think it should be lost on everybody how good Darius Garland is with Mitchell in the backcourt when he's healthy. Plenty of time for him to get work back into this rotation and become healthy. The question is, you know, is their bench going to do it night in and night out? Do those 3 key guys coming off the pine make it sing? There are some nights they're going to blow the team out, and other nights they're going to struggle a little bit. But overall, I would think in the second half of the season, they're going to surge and they're going to be a top 2 team in the East. I'm not disappointed in them at all. Just saying.
DZ, I'm with you because Cleveland is very, very, very talented, but they're a 10-man team. Okay, they don't have dog. They have one dog. They have one very awesome future Hall of Fame dog. His name is Donovan Mitchell. I want to be in the foxhole with that guy. Jared Allen's not a dog. Evan Mobley's not a dog. Max Strus is not a dog. DeAndre Hunter's not a dog. Darius Garland's not a dog. Lonzo Ball's not a dog. Dean Wade's not a dog. Should I continue or let's move on here?
Continue. I'd like to hear 3 more no dog. No, that was good. That was good. That was good.
I think my guy Tyson might be a dog, but I need to see more. I think Craig Porter Jr. might be a dog, but I need to see more. And yeah, let's move on. Let's talk NFL, guys, and get to what happened last night with the Houston Texans beating the Buffalo Bills in a maybe surprising result to a lot of people. And I'll be honest, I was a little bit surprised by that too. But the way they did it, the way the Texans did it, not surprising, right? Best defense in football. They proved it last night. That's right. The Houston Texans have the best defense in football. It is factually true. They went 23-19 last night over the Bills. DZ, I want you to wait for the punchline here because I think you're really, really going to like it. Josh Allen, right, 6 touchdowns last week, was brought way down by the Houston defense. And they sacked Josh Allen 8 times. Okay. So here's what's up. And I want you guys just takeaways, right? I don't really have a debate question here, just takeaways. You can go Texans, you can go Bills, anywhere you want to go. Here's where I want to go. The Bills. Okay. The Bills are super up and down, right? And it all goes back, Dennis, to partying on the road. Okay. Hear me out, Dennis. The Buffalo Bills have lost at Atlanta. Nobody saw that coming. How the hell did they lose to Atlanta? Buckhead flu. They go down to Miami, Dennis. They lose that game too, 30-13 when the Miami Dolphins were literally the Dolphins were in the toilet going into that game. They were literally in the toilet, okay? And they beat the Bills. Why? South Beach flu, baby. Okay, so let's go to Wednesday night in downtown H-Town, DZ, which, as you know, is a party city, okay?
Yes,
and the Bills,
yes,
oh, wow, the Bills lost 23-19. How'd they lose? I can't believe the Bills lost, right? What's wrong with the Bills? What's wrong with the Bills is they like to kick it on the road, and they got nothing left for the game. That's the problem with the Bills. They're 5-1 at home. They're 2-3 on the road. Okay, what about the road wins? Okay, they won at the Jets, but that doesn't count. That's AM's Jets, who always suck, okay? And then their other road win is the Carolina Panthers. Carolina's not a party city. It's a great city, but it's not a party city, okay? The problem with the Bills is they have to host a playoff game or games deep into January, right? Take advantage of the cold. Nobody's going to want to go play there. But you've got to beat Atlanta, Miami, and Houston to get to that point. All right, so let's go around the room here. AM Pfeffer, you first. Takeaways on the Texans beating the Bills.
Okay, first of all, I want to jump on something you just said. I love the idea of the team, the road team, and the party city. I mean, good timing, man. Seems Lamb came out and admitted, he's like, yeah, they benched us because we missed curfew in Vegas, right? I mean, it happens. There are guys on the road just having a good time, and Houston is absolutely a fire town, man. So good on you for pulling it out. Let me take you back a couple of years, okay, to most of the time draft day trades, like they just don't work out that well. You're talking about after they selected CJ Stroud, they sent the 12th, the 33rd, if I'm thinking about it, in the same year, and then the following year's first and third round pick to pick third. They sent it to the Cardinals, right, to pick third. And who'd they take? Will Anderson Jr. Yo, this is working. This guy is so good. He is on a different level for edge players. He sets the edge. I mean, did you see that play like right at the end of the game last night where he jumped up and almost picked it? I think on third down when Buffalo, after somehow completing 4th and 27, like he literally brought them to 4th down and stopped the game when they brought the house the following play and Allen threw the second interception. The defense is that good. Derek Stingley Jr., that pick, bit controversial because of his injury history. And his first 2 years in the league, he was, in and out a little bit. Now he's better than Sauce. Now he's Surtain's level, right? The linebacking core, D'Amico Ryans, the way he coaches that team and how he's got special teams playing. I don't think it was that big of a surprise that Buffalo lost. The defense is just not there. They really don't have any superstar wide receivers. And at this point, it is starting to show. It's become evident. Josh Allen can only do so much. He can only have so many heroics because there are times when the interception warts in his game show up, and it's happening in the last couple of weeks, right? I mean, here's a guy who all of a sudden has ballooned to 8 interceptions when at the beginning of the year he had like 1 or 2 for a little while, and you're seeing it now over the past couple of weeks. As good as he is, and there's still time for him to jump back in the MVP conversation. But the Bills have a problem on the road. The Bills have a defensive problem. And the Texans are that good defensively. I got to admit it. At the time when I saw the trade happen, I didn't think it was a good play for the Texans right after they picked Stroud. But, man, Will Anderson Jr. is the real deal.
Indeed. Dennis, come on in here, man. Takeaways on the Texans beating the Bills last night.
My biggest thing is you've already tapped on my fun part, so I'm not going to go there about all the flus. So with Josh Allen making all the money, with Josh Allen coming off all the MVPs, I don't have any hair. As a GM, why is he throwing the ball to nobody? Nobody. And I know the young fellow with the Coleman's got in a little, whatever he's going through, but why have Josh Allen drop back and say, well, he's not open. Well, he's not open. And this defense that's coming at me is a bunch of gorillas coming at me. And we got sacked, 8 times last night?
8.
8. So to me, I'm putting all this pressure on the GM and saying, how am I not protecting my cash money guy behind me and he has nobody to throw the ball to?
It's a good take, man. Doc, come on in here, man. Dr. X on his way. Are you on your way to LaGuardia right now, by the way?
No, well, JFK, actually. JFK.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
But, I would say for me, I think all eyes are on CJ Stroud because I think the Texans are probably in the conversation for the next up-and-coming dominant team in the AFC because they already checked the box for the best defense in the league. So now you just got to hopefully CJ Stroud can, not bring down the ship and he could kind of be the one to make them come out the AFC into the Super Bowl. So I think all eyes are on this top pick for the NFL and let's see where he brings this team. So I'm happy for people in Houston, but the pressure is on CJ Stroud at this point.
It's a great take, man, because you got that defense, right? Number 1 in the league. Now the QB needs to comply with that plan. Okay, and think about this just quickly before we transition. Houston right now is in 8th place, all right? 7 make the playoffs, right? They are a half game up on the Kansas City Chiefs, who have a crucial game this Sunday at home against the 8-2 Colts, okay? Check this out. Houston now has a long rest in advance going to Kansas City next week. How cool is that? Houston and KC will play next week at Arrowhead. Monster game. All right, let's talk Eagles here, and then let's make some picks, and we're going to tell all these people to have a great weekend, or hope they have a great weekend. Are we frustrated with Hurts? Is there any frustration with Hurts? Let's get into this, right? The Athletic reported, some players have grown frustrated by Jalen Hurts' approach this season, according to an Athletic report, specifically when it comes to his hesitancy to throw the ball into tight windows against zone coverage, okay? Reporter Derek Gunn added that frustration stems primarily from Hurts playing his game instead of taking what is discussed during the week and transitioning it to game day, okay? Now, Jalen Hurts said about this, I'm not surprised by anything. This kind of the nature of the position. He said, I put my energy and focus into trying to go out there and do my best, trying to learn, trying to build, trying to take in things that I can try and improve. He said, I guess a lot of attention.
I'm not surprised by anything. I mean, it's just kind of the nature of the position, like I said. But, you know, I put my energy and I put my focus on trying to go out there and do my best and go to work every day and continue to go out there and try and do my best. I guess I get a lot of attention when things are going well and when things are not going so well. And so I never run away from holding myself accountable.
All right, great job, guys.
I like that.
So let me give you the bad, the good, the better, and the great. Okay, and then you guys do your thing. The bad, the offense has been a disappointment. The Eagles are 25th in total yards, 28th in passing, 29th in third down conversion rate. This is all bad stuff. They're averaging 115 rushing yards per game, which is 17th. Okay, here's the good. They are the best red zone offense, 75% conversion rate, and they have a league low 4 turnovers, okay? Those are Jalen Hurts stats. Those are positive Jalen Hurts stats, but nobody's talking about that right now because it's all this other stuff. Here's the better. Jalen Hurts is completing 67% of his passes, which is right around where it needs to be. It could be better, but he has a 16-to-1 TD to INT ratio, best in the league, even better than Matt Stafford's. He has the 5th highest quarterback rating behind Lamar Jackson, Drake May, Matt Stafford, and Jared Goff. Okay, he's 5th on that list. And here's the great. Jalen Hurts has a career regular season record of 54-22. I just don't understand. Dr. X, I'm going to you first here. I just don't understand the lack of grace, the lack of benefit of the doubt. Jalen Hurts is the reigning Super Bowl winning quarterback. We are less than a year out from him doing that, and we're acting like we are. Some people are acting like this guy stinks or has all kinds of flaws and stuff like that, right? People are acting like he's Tua or Justin Fields. And I love Justin Fields, but it's not working out. Like, this is Jalen freaking Hurts we're talking about here. So, Doc, are you frustrated, or just talk about this report about the frustration on Hurts?
I think it has a lot to do with he's just following the script that we already knew. He doesn't take chances, and he just will continue to play that way. And so we should be used to this by now. The good thing is that with not taking chances, he's been able to get to several Super Bowls and win one of them, and or a couple of Super Bowls, I should say. But and he won against Patrick Mahomes, and it didn't seem like he was taking chances in the Super Bowl. So it looks like he knows how to, when it counts, when the game is on the line, to actually take the chances and to be more courageous out there, and throw some balls that are kind of in some close windows. And I think he will continue to do that. I don't think he's going to let anybody speed up his process or put pressure on him to be risky. That's just the way he is. And if you're a fan of the Eagles or a fan of Jalen Hurts, that just comes with the territory.
Doc, you are currently on the longest car ride of all time. Are you approaching the airport?
Yes, it is.
That's that New York traffic.
It's that New York Friday and holiday traffic. They got us arriving maybe around 4:20.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Well,
we'll make the flight. We left early. We're good.
Shoot, all 4 of us know. I mean, I lived up there 6 years. DZ's been up there a million times. Doc is bi-coastal right now, living in LA and New York City, on his way to LA. Dennis, you next here, man. Talk about this frustration with Jalen Hurts. Now, Dennis is a Cowboys fan. So are we going to get some subjectivity or some objectivity right now?
You're going to get truth ductivity. I just made that word up for our viewers. So I'm a diehard Cowboy fan. You know that. I'm happy Dak's playing better. I'm happy we got to win. I hopefully win the ball game. But to the question, I'm going to take you all the way back to when I fell in love with Jalen Hurts. When it was boring football, and I think the SEC championship, when he got taken out the game, and then they put in Tua, and he went over there and became a great leader. Then something happened. He had to go back in the game to finish out the game. Then he went to Oklahoma. This is the same guy. Oh, wait a minute, Rick. I had to do a little homework on this one. Even in high school, he didn't take chances. His daddy was his high school coach. Even his own daddy would get frustrated with him because he wouldn't take chances. But the only thing I know from following him as close as I've had, he's a winner. So they're 8-2. I hope they lose Sunday. Jalen Hurts is what he is, guys, and I don't know why we're trying to change who he is. He's not going to take chances. If it doesn't feel good, he's not throwing it.
And he's one of the greatest running quarterbacks in the history of the sport. So there's a pretty damn good plan B when he decides not to throw to covered receivers. AM Pepper, get in here.
I mean, I guess if you have him on your fantasy team, you're frustrated with him a little bit some weeks, and some weeks you're happy with what he does. Me personally, I have zero frustration with Jalen Hurts. The team is 8-2, and what does every head coach want out of their quarterback? No turnovers. 16-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Come on. He's doing exactly what he needs to do, and the team is winning. And Howie Roseman is bringing in defensive players at the trade deadline to all of a sudden win games, even though they're low scoring. Like, okay, you guys are winning games. He's doing exactly what he needs to do to be on the right side of the W. I have zero frustration with Jalen Hurts.
I love it, fellas. Let's get to some NFL picks and round out the show. Guys and girls out there, please subscribe to the X-Rated Sports Network YouTube page. We'd appreciate that, and we really love you guys and girls. Of course. Now, this is for you. This is for you guys. Yes. All right, let's get to some picks. Dennis, you first. I'm going to bounce around here a little bit. Eagles 8-2 at Cowboys 4-5-1. Absolutely monstrous game for the Dallas Cowboys. So anyway, no setup here. Yeah. Who you got?
Cowboys playoffs have started right now this Sunday. They have to have this win. Otherwise, we start packing our bags on Monday for vacation.
Dr. X, Eagles or Cowboys?
I have the Eagles sending the Cowboys packing early.
I love that. Because no, look, if Doc is right, he's right. Because if Cowboys go to 4-6-1, bye. If they win this week, it's game on. It's a monster game for Dallas.
Yeah. Got to.
All right, AM, who you got?
By the way, did anybody see ex-Jet Quinnen Williams on Monday night on the Cowboys and what he was doing along that line? Damn, I just want to know if anybody saw. Of course you did. Of course you all saw, and the whole world got to see. Anyway, Eagles are winning this game. Thanks.
Guys, I believe the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this football game. I believe that. Why? Because weird stuff happens. Okay, because Philly's 8-2, so of course they're I don't know. I feel like the AM zag right now. I feel like zagging right now. I don't feel like zigging. I feel like zagging. I'm going to do the AM zag right now. I believe on Monday. I believe on Monday, all the First Take and all these shows are going to be going off on the Cowboys are back or are they back, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to be all of this doomsday stuff with the Eagles. They didn't get the rock to A.J. Brown again, and Jalen Hurts doesn't take enough chances. And all the talking heads are going to grab their bat and continue to hit the pinata. And the Eagles are probably going to be back in the dang Super Bowl. But I believe they're going to lose to the Cowboys this week. All right, let's continue on here. Dr. X, you are first with this one. Yeah, let's go to this one. Colts at Chiefs. Doc, the Colts are 8-2. The Chiefs are 5-5. And this is a bit of a death game for the Chiefs, kind of like it is for the Cowboys. So, Dr. X, who you got, Colts or Chiefs?
Only because it's at home. I think the Chiefs will win this game, and because so much is on the line. So I think I have the Chiefs winning. Indianapolis Colts.
A.M. Pfeffer, you're next.
I still am picking eggshells out of my hair from the yolk running down on my face for picking the Chiefs to literally run away with the game last week against the Broncos and ended up losing the game. Colts, let's go. Jonathan Taylor is going to ram it down their throats. Daniel Jones continues his streak. There's just too much on that side of the ball. Colts are going to win that game.
DZ, you're up next.
Ooh, I love me some Patty Mahomes, but AM, this Jonathan Taylor, I don't know what he did this summer or what he eats before the game, but Jonathan Taylor is must-see TV right now. So I'm going with Jonathan Taylor. Again,
Guys, I think I'm going with the Chiefs here. The level of motivation for them, it's at an all-time high. But here's a trend that I have noticed over years and years and decades of covering the NFL. It's not a 100% deal. It's not a truism, but it's a really strong trend that I've noticed. When teams are cooking going into the bye, a lot of times they come out of the bye a different team. They've heard it. They've have their back slapped for 2 weeks and attaboyed for 2 weeks, and they come out a little bit lame, a little bit maybe full of themselves, and just not right. I think Indianapolis is going to fall into that. I don't know. Like, they could come out, BKC, go to 9-2, end the Chiefs season. I'm like, all right, that angle sucked. But this angle has not sucked for me over the years. And there's no stat on Shane Steichen like there is on Andy Reid or Mike Tomlin, right? You get those guys, or Sirianni coming out of a bye, you're screwed. You just are. That's what they do. We don't have that stat for Shane Steichen. So I'm going to bet against the Colts. I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs. And, guys, little cherry on top, prediction for you. There will be at least one horrible call in favor of the Kansas City Chiefs to keep hope alive for them and the NFL, because they are a cash cow for the league, obviously. All right, big game, guys. This one goes down. Dr. X, are you going to this game? The Buccaneers are 6-4 at the LA Rams at SoFi. Doc is going to be traveling soon to Los Angeles, but Doc, it's Sunday Night Football too. I don't know. Could be a good ticket for you, my brother. But Bucs at Rams, Doc, will you be there? Are you now thinking about going there? And then we do need a pick from you.
Honestly, we were thinking of going to support Shedeur Sanders in Las Vegas.
Nice.
So we might go there, but the Bucs versus the Rams is a pretty good ticket. So I guess we'll find out on Tuesday when we speak. But,
so who you got?
I'm gonna go with the Rams, man. I just believe so much in Stafford and that coaching staff and just what they've been doing all season. So I'm gonna go with the Rams.
I love it, man. Dennis Scott, Bucs or Rams?
I normally don't go with Georgia boys, but that Matthew Stafford, what is he, 38, 39? I don't know what it is, but I guess fine wine, the way he's playing right now is pretty remarkable. Now, Baker Mayfield, you're not far behind him, though. Don't. So Baker Mayfield fans, don't sleep on Baker, but I'm going to give the nod to the Rams.
Hey, DZ, I got a stat for you. Keep the camera on DZ here. Like I want to. Matt Stafford's touchdown to INT ratio is 27-2.
Good gracious. I didn't know it was that good. I know it was good, but I didn't know it was that good. Then hands down, I'm going with the Rams. Good God.
I had to get some of that NBA TVD Scott on here, man. I love it, man. I love it. That was phenomenal. Great job by Jason and Kai, too, to pick that up. All right, AFF for your next. Bucs at Rams.
I just want to say this, Doc, if you do stay in town this weekend and you end up at the Rams game, take me, please. I got a babysitter sitting on speed dial for just such occasions. We'd have a lot of fun. Just throwing it out there.
That would be cool. I like that.
Let's get the Matthew Stafford MVP train back on the track. A little bit of a hiccup up last week against Seattle, rightfully so, because Seattle has a great defense in their own right. But come on, the Bucks give up points this year. Todd Bowles, a defensive mastermind, lets his team give up points. Plenty of shootouts, and I think, you know, the Bucks might try and keep up a little bit the way they have at some of the West Coast teams, especially. Who can forget the shootout up in Seattle earlier this year? One of the best games of the year for sure. The Rams are a different team. The Rams are going to win this game. Matthew Stafford brings it and gets this train back on the track.
I got to bet against the Buccaneers here. You know, they may get some guys back, but the Rams are a freight train right now. The Buccaneers coming out of their bye, they've lost 2 straight games. They're not in a good way right now. And going to SoFi to play the Rams, they trust that the Buccaneers fans don't travel like Cowboys, Packers, and Steelers fans. So this is going to be a Rams home game. I will go with the Rams. As we move on now to our roundtable rant. And guys, I am really excited for this one. I am going to largely nuke Steve Kerr. All right, Jonathan Kuminga reportedly feels like the Warriors are making him the scapegoat again after benching him during their cold streak, according to Anthony Slater, one of the best reporters out there. Quote, the Warriors lost 5 of their next 7. Kuminga's turnovers spiked and performance dipped, searching for rotation answers. Kerr demoted Kuminga to a bench role, reopening old wounds. Quote, he feels like the scapegoat again. Free Jonathan Kuminga stat. This is a joke. Steve Kerr has stunted Jonathan Kuminga. I can't say he's ruined him because Kuminga's still a heck of a player. Steve Kerr definitely ruined James Wiseman. Okay, that's on him. Steve Kerr has stunted Moses Moody. Steve Kerr has stunted Brandon Pajemski. Steve Kerr has exiled Trace Jackson Davis, who dunked on Wemby. Okay, he dunked on Wemby, and he never plays for Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr benched Klay Thompson. How freaking dare you, dude? Steve Kerr benched Draymond Green in the finals. Steve Kerr benched Jason Tatum twice against Serbia in the Olympics. Dumbassery there. Steve Kerr forfeits games. He literally gives games away. Like Wednesday when he sat everybody and you lose in the second of a back-to-back to Miami. Boo-hoo, okay? Let's continue here. Steve Kerr looked the other way when Draymond Green punched Jordan Poole. He looked the other way. They did not suspend Draymond Green. So you co-signed the punch is what you did. Draymond Green got a 1-game suspension for the explosion on Kevin Durant that led to Kevin Durant leaving Golden State, okay? He got a 1-game suspension for that. Crazy, okay? They lost both of those games. GSW is now 9-8, 8th in the West, right in the middle, right where I thought they'd be. Steve Kerr has lost his way. Steve Kerr is way too impatient. Steve Kerr refuses to merge winning and developing. Okay, you have to do both, Steve. That's your job, but he only wants to do one of those jobs. It's just winning for him. Steve Kerr is no longer the coach of Team USA. That's good news for the United States of America and bad news for the world. Oh, and one more thing. Steve Kerr is the biggest whiner in this sport. Whiner. And he did it again this week. Here's what he said about their back-to-back. The Miami game will be our 17th game in 29 days in 13 different cities. It's been the toughest early schedule I've ever been a part of in my entire NBA life. I'm literally tearing up. I'm tearing up over here, Steve. I can't believe the torture. I can't believe the trauma that they're putting you through. All right, that's my rant. Who's up next?
I'm not following that. That was too good.
Well, hey, I'm actually moving a lot faster now. So my rant was going to be that I'm still in this car and the traffic sucks. JFK. But I agree with your rant. And what I would say is whenever I think about what Steve Kerr is doing to people's careers, the only thing that makes me smile, not that I'm promoting violence, is that Michael Jordan did us all a favor many decades ago. So thank you, MJ.
Well played, Doc. Well played. DZAM, do you guys have a rant here?
Dennis?
Yes. Oh, I'll go. My rant is, now that I've done 2 collegiate basketball games And I'm still baffled by all the smart people we have in the NCAA, the operations committee. Why does the women, I think we talked about it at the first show, why do the women's have their 4 quarters, but the men's don't? The only answer I've been told is because of the advertising dollars and you won't get all the timeouts in properly. I said, that doesn't make no damn sense at all. That gives you 4 guaranteed. I mean, well, actually gives you 3 guaranteed times out, and then it might be an overtime. Like, it just doesn't make sense. I'm sitting here watching, like, why is it not 4 quarters? It just doesn't make sense. So it's a short rant.
DZ, if I could just levy one quick complaint about college basketball, it's the fact that at the end of games, a coach can't call timeout to advance the ball past half court. And so you've got
another one we need to add. Thank you. That's another we need to add to college back. I just don't understand where the control people are and why are they controlling that narrative for the game.
I've done this a lot on sports talk radio, and I've talked to college basketball guys. They're like, I hate that idea. You have to keep it the way it is, the way it's always been. No, you don't. No, you don't. Okay. How many times, guys, how much better would March Madness be? How many more buzzer beaters would we get if instead of, the Grand Hill to Christian Laettner play that's like 1 out of 1,000 versus a side out of bounds play where you actually have a legitimate chance to hit that game tying 3 or whatever the case may be. All right. That was a thought bubble. Let's go to AM Pfeffer. You got a rant, AM?
I do not have a rant today. I'm feeling pretty good, but I do have a little shout out before we get out. Dr. X, my friend, I'm shouting you out. Come back. I can't wait to have you next to me back in the studio. Those are the best days. We've had too much fun in this place. I'm looking forward to having you back, man. And I know if we don't make it to the Rams game on Sunday night, that's okay, because I know you're going to be next to me in the studio on Tuesday. It is going to be awesome to be doing this together again. I just wanted to say that. I'm really looking forward to that.
Likewise, brother. Likewise. I look forward to seeing you. Yeah, we're going to make it happen, man. If we're in town, we're going to make it happen. Look forward to going to the game, my bro.
Doc and DZ, any shout outs before we get out?
Man, I want to shout out my Uber driver who's did an excellent job in navigating this ride, and and my wife for making sure that we left on time. And then I'll give a shout out to JetBlue once FAA gets us home safely. God willing. So prayers.
I love it. DZ, you got a shout out before we get out?
I got a shout out to you guys because I've been having a ball every show I've been on. I apologize that my schedule has gotten a little bit crazy, but Doc and I have been communicating the days I can't be on, and I just love you guys and I appreciate it.
Sir.
And last but not least, AM, if you're zigging, you damn right I'm zagging.
I love it. I
love you, Dennis. I love you, man.
You guys are awesome.
We need you guys in studio, man. Just let me know when we'll be next time you guys have like college game in LA or something.
Yep.
It'd be great to link up, my brother.
As soon as I get that Cal or Stanford game, I'm gonna put that a part of the schedule.
Let's do it. All right, fellas.
All right, guys. Well, Doc, we'll let you go here. Safe travels, and you guys get there safe. All right, we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you. All right, guys.
All right, peace. All right, I just have one quick shout out before we get out. Reggie Theus for joining the show. Should be in the Naismith Hall. We talked about that. The men's head basketball coach and athletic director at Bethune-Cookman, the only individual in the country to have both of those jobs simultaneously, and it was a phenomenal interview. Reggie Theus, we love you, and we shout you out. Now, we are done, and we shout out you fans as well. Please subscribe to the X-Rated Sports Network YouTube page for Dr. Phil McDonald, for the great Dennis Scott, for AM Pfeffer, for Jason Arambula behind the glass producing, and for Kai Josephson behind the glass as our technical director. I'm Rick Kamla. This has been Beyond the Surface. Have a great weekend, everybody.